Well, welcome to our Lowrider Podcast show provided by Streetlow Magazine. I'm Gilbert Chavez. I'm your host. And today we have two guests with us, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
My name is Danny De La Pazfrom, and I am an actor, or was an actor.
Right. No, you're still acting.
Something
You're
like
an
that,
actor.
yeah.
From Boulevard Nights.
Yes, from Boulevard Nights and American Me, and a host of other films I'm sure you haven't seen.
Right on. And also we have...
My name is Jimmy Hernandez, and I am the owner of Time Warp Music here in San Jose, out at the San Jose Flea Market. I also DJ on KKUP Radio 91.5. I do a Monday morning show and the first Saturdays of the month.
Right on. Well, I brought everybody together because we all have something in common. Lowriding, music,
yes.
and everything to do with the actual culture of lowriding.
Chicano culture, lowriding culture.
Correct. And we've been bringing Danny to our shows for many years.
Yep.
Many years. And in reality, I know he didn't want us to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. We have two legendary people here. Jim's been around forever. I think I've seen both of you guys build the Ark with Noah, right?
Yeah, I remember Noah.
I
remember Noah.
You're bringing all the music in, and you're bringing all the actors.
They done them wrong, Gilbert.
Right.
Really did.
Right on, man. So, I mean, what got you into acting? That's the first.
Got into acting when I was in high school. Seriously, my freshman year of high school.
What high school was that?
Even though I had dabbled in junior high and in kindergarten.
What high school was that?
Sierra High School in Whittier, California.
Okay.
About a half hour away from Hollywood.
How did you land Boulevard Nights? How did you land Boulevard Nights?
Well, by the time I did Boulevard Nights, I was 21. So I'd already had about 7 years of theater experience under my belt, which is a lot of plays, acting in front of a live audience, which is really hard to do, actually, because live audiences don't lie. If you're doing a comedy and they're not laughing,
right,
you're not funny.
Right.
There's no second take or anything like that, So it really helped to teach me how to stay on my toes.
But how were you discovered? That's kind of like where I'm at.
Well, when I graduated from high school my senior year, I had a professional job before graduation. I was going to get paid. It's my first time getting paid. At a musical review at Knott's Berry Farm. It was like a half-hour show. We'd do it twice a day. And it paid good money at that time in 1975. And I had to actually quit high school because I had to go to rehearsal to go to work in the spring of my graduation year. So I took night classes so that I could get the rest of my points to graduate and finish off the year. And that's how I began my professional career. And then after that, I started going out and doing plays that paid in Los Angeles. And at one of these little plays I got involved with, I was doing like a children's play. One of the guys that was on the Jeffersons, he came and saw the show because he had a friend, and she was in the show. And he was impressed by my performance, so he left me a note. Said, "My name is Damon Evans, and I play Lionel on the Jeffersons." He was the second Lionel, not the original.
Okay.
There was a replacement later on. Anyway, he recommended to me his agent. He gave me the agent's number and told me to call this guy up, and I did, and I went to go meet him. I was 19 at the time. And the agent, on Lionel's recommendation, or Damon's recommendation, agreed to represent me and submit me for roles in film and television. Wow. So that's how I started going out for,
Because before Boulevard Nights, there was another movie you did, right?
No, I never did any movies before Boulevard Nights, just a couple of television parts.
Also,
I was in the very first Latino television series ever on television.
Which one's that?
It was called Poppy, P-O-P-I.
Shit.
And it was a story of a Puerto Rican father living with his two sons without a mom. His wife had passed away. He was a single dad with his two Puerto Rican kids. And I was in one of those shows as a guest star.
Okay.
My very first time ever in front of the camera.
Then after that, Boulevard Night was the first actual.
Yeah, and a couple of years after that, I got Boulevard Nights.
Well, that was the movie that kicked off the whole lowriding scene. I mean, it was really, even though I know it was happening way before, right, Jim? Way before Boulevard Nights. Right. But I think, we had Sonny spoke to us a couple of times, and that's what kind of made the magazine blow up. He goes, that was that movie. Boulevard Nights was that, they were just starting out as well, putting out the magazine. But actually they had 2 years of putting out the magazine.
Yeah, 2 years.
Then when you guys came out with the movie, it just exploded. Everybody wanted a lowrider after that.
Well, that movie took lowriding all over the country, basically, and into other countries, too, because the following year, in 1980, after it opened in the States in 79, it opened in Japan, and I believe Australia as well. And it introduced lowriding to those other countries. And they would show it also at military bases. Wow. So all these military bases in Germany and Europe.
Right.
Would show Boulevard Nights.
Right, and that's kind of cool, man. Because the way I look at Boulevard Nights, to me, it's an iconic movie, but it represents what a lowrider was and what a gangbanger was in reality. Because if you look at it, the lowrider in the movies were the ones working, have money, had nice cars, and then here you are, gangbanger, don't want to work, you want to just chill with the friends.
Yeah,
get high and
stay
all
home, snip a little paint.
Right, and all your friends got them.
Your homies.
All your friends got them primered cars and stuff like that. Right, and that to me was legendary, man. And every time somebody tells you, well, lowriding's like kind of, I got all them gangbangers. Like, no, man, I'm like, gotta watch Boulevard Night. To me, that's kind of a educational movie to let the outside world that don't know who we are. It's kind of sad that we don't have an actual reality show. Actually, we were filming one a while back, but it just still won't accept it. It's kind of like they're afraid that we might just blow up. And
Well, Jim can fill you into the period leading up to Boulevard Nights, because I only got into lowriding as a result of being in that movie, but he was involved in it years prior to.
Right. No, that's why.
And the movement wasn't just happening in L.A. It was happening here in Northern California, and it was also happening in Denver, and it was happening in Texas.
No, but he had a big movement. Jim had a big movement here in Northern California, because Northern California was being recorded. Basically, having Lowrider Magazine was kind of like the first Instagram, Facebook of its era for the culture of lowriding. But I know Jim, we had talked before, and there was Disco East during the time, and he was very heavily involved with it, right? You were the one that were putting that together, right? Disco East and all that.
Well, myself, Glenn Norris was the owner of the indoor flea market and Disco East, who passed away. But he let me and Randy Mendez, who's still around San Jose, go ahead and run with it. And we started. Disco East just kind of happened.
Right.
It was just it evolved from people cruising around, and then you couldn't get around the streets of Story King.
Right.
They were so crowded, people pulled in there just to take a break, as every parking lot, Tropicana, the Jack in the Box.
But what year was this? I mean,
so this was 76, about 76, but cruising was already happening
prior.
As I got out of high school in 75, cruising was already happening on the other side of town, downtown around St. James Park. Even in as far back as 74, circling the park down there, and then the muscle cars were cruising El Camino down in Santa Clara in that area over there. So everybody kind of just, lowriders stayed around First Street, guys that were muscle cars stayed around El Camino, and then it started kind of intermixing with both.
Right.
And then Disco East was Story King just became the phenomenon for cruising, and everybody was hanging out there. And that's where I first met Teen Angel, who showed up one day. And he had a car like mine. I had a 54 hardtop. He had a 54 hardtop. His was like an aqua green. Mine was a baby blue. He had tuck and row interior with the dingle balls around, traditional.
That was it. That was the style.
The fur and those pipe speakers in the back, and he came up walking up, and it looked like a straight James Dean. A cigarette pack rolled up in his pocket, and talking about, low riding and where do I go, and then I told him about Sonny's magazine, and he had his offices downtown, but Sonny had already left San Jose and went to L.A. because that's where the low riding scene was already at its height.
Right.
That's why when Boulevard Nights opened, that Whittier Boulevard was the way Whittier Boulevard was back as far as, I want to say, 1968.
Yeah.
It was already popping.
That I remember riding my bike down there, our bikes cruising down there, and LA sheriffs coming and pulling us over. What are you guys doing out here? You're not supposed to be out in the streets this late at night. Just 10 o'clock when there was a curfew at one time. For people.
Right, for people.
Story & King was so famous that even in Southern California and Los Angeles, I was familiar with it, and I had not even been up to San Jose at that point.
But that's because of the magazine, right? The magazine was the one that helped push that.
Yes.
Everybody got to, like I said, the magazine was the Instagram and Facebook of its times, to make the street people famous, really, because the cars were out there, and you'd see a car on one of those magazines. It was like, wow, it was kind of like a movie star. You became an instant movie star.
And all those ads for Hammer and Lewis. Yeah, those, I remember those. And
there's a lot of them.
Knowing how famous that
Hammer and
was
Lewis.
as well.
And I think they had ads in L.A. too at the time, right?
Yeah.
They had L.A. ads as well.
They did.
They had Greenspan, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
They had Rolls Hydraulics, Andy's
I
Hydraulics.
remember Rolls Hydraulics.
But a lot of it was from Northern California at first, as far as the hydraulic shops, right? So most of the shops,
the ads were coming because the magazine was here, and that's where the sales were being
pushed.
The advertisement was being pushed, Northern California advertisement. Right. And then it kind of spread out to Salinas, Bakersfield, to Larry.
But didn't
LA.
Sonny himself go down to L.A. and distribute the magazine?
Yes.
Because, I mean, he had them in all the mom and pops liquor stores.
Well, he did what I did. I went from place to place, store to store, distributor to distributor. I had no schooling to anything I did. And I don't believe any of us did, except yourself going through school, but getting, even like you were saying, it was something that just happened when you guys put Disco East together. But I think that's how lowriding happened. We just a bunch of bored kids trying to create something out of nothing. Now it's a little different because you got the computers, you got you got everything. It's just easy for them to stay home and build a lowrider out of a computer, right? Yeah. But back then it was a little bit more different. I know you, Jim. You were saying you had met Sonny. When did you meet Sonny? Did you meet Sonny prior to the magazine, or he had an event, or how was it that you got?
I first met Sonny when they did the Super Show at the fairgrounds, the 3-day car show. When Rudy actually hired me to DJ in the middle of the car show, because and there's a little story when he wrote it in the magazine in that issue. It was June 9th, 10th, 11th. Remember the 3-day show with the 40 pickup in the front, and then it's on the anniversary. And he did a little write-up about me at Disco East because he had heard, I was doing, disco was big. Everybody was into disco. Yeah, that one there.
This one right here.
And,
wow, look at that.
And he did a little story about mixing oldies and disco because everybody was doing disco, but I was still throwing oldies in between.
You tell Flavio?
In between the...
Find the page. I mean, I'm a big lowrider magazine and magazines, because there's a lot of lowrider magazines that are different. I've been collecting them for years, and that's kind of like what made me start Streetlow Magazine. It was just I was so into it. Is that you dancing? That's the article?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Manuel Morano, who actually somebody you should talk to too, Gilbert, he's still around.
Disco at a car show.
Yeah.
With a question mark.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start calling you Disco. That's going to be your name now. Hey,
but
Disco.
See, disco, I got a chance to play. I really like disco. In fact, on my radio station, I keep telling some of the other DJs, I want to bust out with a disco show on the radio one day, but play disco that I remember. With disco to me and to other people is not the Bee Gees and not ABBA. It was those hardcore disco groups. But I used to play disco funk stuff. Confunction was doing disco, Cameo, a lot of that funky stuff. And then I would throw old school then was Junior Walker and the All-Stars, the Honeycomb, but the dancing kind of music that you could dance, oldies from the 60s, like Wilson Pickett and that's kind of stuff. So that's why Rudy asked me to play at the car show and do that kind of style of stuff there. And I even did it at Studio 47 at one night there too. And that was a
Studio
hardcore
47.
one. Yeah.
I remember going to that when I was 13 years old.
Yeah. Well,
13 years old going to the Studio 47. And it was 13 to, I think, to 20, 13 to 20, then 21 and over. It was a wall that split.
Yes.
And then the stage was right there. The stage was the same stage, but it was just split by a wall.
Wow.
It was a crazy. You had all the kids. Us as kids would get mad at the 21-year-olds because they would get drunk, come and try to get out, try to get the girls. I'm like, come on, man, stay in your own lane. Stay over there, But, that was fun.
It was Disco Odyssey back then.
Disco Odyssey?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it called, oh, my God. Starlight.
Yes.
That's where my parents met. My parents met in Starlight.
Starlight.
And then later on, I found out it was Studio 47. My mom lived in Livermore at the time. My father worked at Tico's Tacos downtown. And he lived behind, there were some apartments there, which are still there. And he lived there.
Which Tico's? The one on San Carlos or the one on 4th Street?
The one on 4th Street. When he was young. I mean, this is 60s.
That was Tico's. That was the original
Tico's. The original Tico's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the 60s. Yeah, my dad was I don't know what he did. I think he was a dishwasher or something. I don't know what he did. He had just came from Mexico and he was, got the job. He cut hair. My dad actually cut hair, but he was working there. And I'm like, yeah, I met your mom at this club called Starlight. Then, which I didn't know. Then years later, we were going to this club called Studio 47. And then somebody had mentioned, oh, yeah, this used to be called Starlight. I'm like, my parents met here. Oh, holy shit, that's crazy.
That's cool. That's great.
Yeah, no. So are
you saying you were conceived in the parking lot of Starlight?
It could have been. It could have, or in the bathroom. I don't know. Back in the 70s, I don't know. Bathrooms were kind of what they were using too, right? No, but right on, man. But no, I mean that's what I like about the history, especially of San Jose, because San Jose has a lot of history, and a lot of it was recorded, and a lot of people were around, and the stories.
You mentioned Sonny earlier, right?
Right.
Just before we get off the subject, I just wanted to say a little something.
Yeah, for sure.
How long has it been now since Sonny passed?
2015.
4 or 5 years?
2015.
About 9 years now.
10
9
years.
years?
Yeah.
10 years. 10 years.
Well,
10?
Oh, it's going to be 10.
at his
it's gonna be
funeral, at
10.
his services, they let people speak if they wanted to, right out there.
Right.
And there wasn't that many people there, really.
Well,
I don't remember there being a lot of people.
He
there.
didn't want a lot of people there.
Yeah.
He didn't want certain people there neither.
Yeah.
When they had called me when we did the actual the caravan for him. He didn't want a lot of. He wanted me to actually put that together for him.
Okay.
Which was kind of a cool.
It was very low key. The
Mario
whole thing was very
called me.
low key.
Yeah, Mario called me up and told me, get at least 13, 14 cars. My father doesn't want a big old thing because it's just, if they weren't around him when he was alive, why would he want them around him when he was dead?
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's sad, but it's true for a lot of people.
When they asked if anybody wanted to say anything, I got up and I spoke, and because I wanted people to know that, when Sonny put me in that May 1979 issue of Lowrider Magazine, with, by the way, a female who was fully dressed from head to toe. She was completely covered, right? And then they had a little circle of me and my face in there, and they had like a 5-page spread on me and my career and Boulevard Nights and all that, and I was just amazed that this guy would go through the trouble of doing that, basically introducing somebody in the community who's brand new to the community.
Well, that was his thing. He wanted to make sure that he was putting all of us in the light. Like he was
he was celebrating the fact that I was in this film.
Yes.
And man, I'll just be so eternally grateful to him for that, because nobody at that time was doing anything like that for a young unknown person coming up in the film industry.
Well, he gave me this issue.
Wow.
And I had it graded.
That's number one, isn't it?
That's number one. I had it graded at the 7.0.
7.0. How high does it go?
It could go up to 9. I got my own Streetlow one at 9.4.
Wow.
Because it's pristine. But because this one, someone looked at it and it was feathered through and all that.
Yeah.
It lowers it down, but still, just to have an actual original copy.
Yeah, and it's in great condition.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect. I got 2 of them. I have another one too, but this is the one he gave me, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna have it put in a little crystal thing so I can, you know.
But God bless Sonny, man. What a great man. And, you know,
Oh,
what a
for
great
sure.
example of somebody who is trying to help lift people up and,
Correct.
you know, elevate his people, his community.
Right.
That's what he did. And I will always be grateful to him for that. That's such a
Well, I'm going to tell you, he put a lot of us together because a lot of us wouldn't exist
without him.
Believe it or not, you know, and again, even with you going on, doing your thing, the industry of lowriding wouldn't. I mean, the people that put everything together to make it happen was it has created all of us to connect in somehow, some way. But it was him that he was able to connect north, south, east, west, Texas, New Mexico, everywhere. You got us all thinking the same because we were all the same, even though we get some people saying other things and stuff, but it's kind of like how can I tell you? It's kind of like one seed that was planted, and it just spread throughout the whole Western.
I used to hang out with him at my friend Rick Garcia's pad in Fresno.
Right.
And Sonny was a friend of Rick's, just like Jim.
Oh no! So yeah, talk about Rick. Is that Rick, the one we were talking about? Rick. Right. Rick was the guy from out of
Fresno.
Out of Fresno, but he's the one that hung out with Sonny a lot, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that would he had a lot of his stuff, right?
And Sonny was just, oh my God, he was hilarious. The things that he would say, just so.
The stories I know about him, it's insane.
He reminded me of one of the characters from The Simpsons. I told him one time to his face, I go, Sonny, you are a Simpson. You're Sonny Simpson for me. I would just laugh my ass off at the comments he would make. He was just a great guy. Just enjoyed his company so much.
Well, I mean, I always tried to take him with me.
Yeah.
Because I used to tell him, I go, you need to be out there. You need to go out there. You need to meet people. You need, and he was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I go to the flea market. I chill with Jim. And I know Jim was a big supporter of him as well and helped put his stuff out there as well as all of us. We try to always encourage him because he didn't want the light. He didn't really care about it.
He wasn't a limelight guy at all.
Not at all. And but it was cool to it was cool when I met him. And it was cool to have him in my life. That was the blessing that I had working and putting together a magazine. And then when he introduced me to Jim too, because I know I'd met Jim, but he kept talking about Jim. Oh, you got to go to time where he has all my stuff. He has a lot of my stuff. You got to go over there and check it out. And I did, and I met Jim through a lot of people. Actually, everybody knows Jim.
I don't even know how I met you, but I know I heard about you before I met you. Must have been from Sonny or from Rick.
I think the time when you came,
I don't remember meeting you.
Was when we first kind of hooked up was 2008.
2008?
You came for that toy drive.
Okay.
That we had.
Was I alone or was I with
you were by yourself, and you said you were freezing your ass off out here because it was so cold. But it wasn't a really big successful toy drive, but you had come because you said, I've always, because you started seeing my name around, you said, I didn't understand what Time Warp meant when I see Chicano stuff. Why Time Warp, you asked me.
That's right. I thought that was name I associated with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. He always kept saying, he still says that. Let's do the Time Warp again.
Right.
But Sonny was always a humble guy, too.
He was very humble.
He never let the stardom go to his head. Danny and I, we won't mention names, but other people have gotten big-headed and don't want to
Sonny kept it real with a capital R.
Right.
There wasn't a phony bone in his body.
No, I used to tell him all the time, I go, you need to go out there. People need to know who you are.
He'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how he was. And it was funny because I took him to I took him to Ventura to a show. Was it? No, Santa Barbara. Ventura.
Ventura Fairgrounds.
I did. They were doing a show out there, and there was a guy that he actually worked with, that actually was working with Sonny when Sonny had Lowrider, and he knew that I hung out with Sonny. He called me up. He goes, "Hey, is there any way you could get Sonny out here?" I said, "You know what? Let me talk to him, see if he's interested. Because I'm not going to speak for Sonny. If he can make it, he can make it. If he can't, he can't." So when I talked to Sonny and told him about it, he goes, "Oh yeah, I know him." I go, "You want to go out there and do it?" He goes, I don't know. I go, just go out there, man. I go, hang out with me. I'll put up a booth. Who cares about, whatever anybody else thinks. He goes, all right, yeah. I go, he's going to get us some rooms. So I had the guy get us 2 rooms. So we went out there, and he goes, oh, yeah, it reminds me of back in the days. And, I mean, first thing he did is, where's the bar? Because he liked to drink. Where's the bar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you like to drink. And it's funny because he goes, I'll be back. I'm like, where you going? We just got here. He goes, don't worry, I'll be back. I'm just going to go up the street. He goes, I know there's a little place. And that's where he would go. And then about an hour, 2 hours later, he'd come back, you know, feeling good and stuff. And after that, next morning, show, you know, came up, and he's like, we went to the show, and he was like, the guy was like trying to like, hey, you know, come do this. He's like, get away from me. He goes, I'm just here. He goes,
Just here to chill out.
Yeah, I'm
Have
not
a good
here to
time.
make a big old woo, 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 you know, especially, he goes, especially that guy. He goes, yeah. He would tell me, that guy, you know, that guy's, I don't know.
Yeah, he always makes those little comments sotto voce, under his breath.
Yeah, he goes, I don't, you know, they are cool with me now. Yeah, back then now. You know, so I understood him, and he understood me, which was kind of crazy, because right away, and I talked about this before, that when he came into my office for the first time that I met him, he walked in because I kept looking for him. I go, I need to meet him. If he's still around, I need to meet Sonny, because my book was based off him. It was based off how he saw us, you know, and the way he saw us, I saw us. You know, the way the new magazines were coming out, I didn't see that in us anymore. I saw it was too commercial.
Yeah, too glossy.
Which was, I understand, you know, everybody has to get fed and move on and keep doing their things, but still, you can't leave us, you know, unturned either. We're just going to, you know, we're the ones that helped you get to that level. You know, you got to cater to the bottom as well, as the top. And
You remember that section of Lowrider that they used to do where they would show you pictures of people's families in the past?
that's what I have. I have my magazine
I
has.
used to love that. That to me was so sunny right there, you know?
Yeah, no, that's why.
It's all about familia and the community, and
Well, I mean, this is one of my issues.
not
This,
just people's cars, but, you know.
right. You know, that's it right there.
Yeah, that
This is one of my issues.
you
So
must have got from Sonny, because
I did get this from Sonny.
he was all
Yes.
about
Tiempo,
that.
and I put on mine. I put tiempos pasados. His was
Yeah,
lowrider
Tiempos
pasados.
His was Lowrider Pasados.
I put tiempos pasados, and like I said, I took a lot from how he published his book, because I was like, oh, this is some cool stuff. This is, I mean, that's what got me going. I said, we need something like this.
He
We just need
kind of
something like this.
set the template, I think, for
He did,
know.
but I think they just kept changing it
yeah.
to corporate. That's why I never took corporate money. I stood away from corporate money, because even though that probably could have got me rich, I just didn't care for it, because I didn't want to change the way we look. I got hit up by a lot of corporate companies that wanted to advertise at one time, and man, the money was good, but
Yeah.
they were going to tell me how to move and how to what we want your book to look like. And
Well, you get further and further away from the community,
Right,
and get
right.
further away from being in touch with the streets and
Right.
what people themselves want to see.
correct.
Yeah, you get farther and farther away from that the more corporate you get.
And not only that, publishing doesn't get you rich. I don't know if anybody knows that, but
Yeah.
anybody that publishes, you're not. It's not a wealthy come up. You know, it's something. It's basically almost like a hobby, and it's something that it's kind of like a diary to you. That you got to keep writing and drawing and putting things together, and hopefully one day, you know, somebody's going to come back and probably make a movie out of it, or just continue something else with it. But that's, to me, that's what publishing is. It's just a diary of a person putting the world so anybody can see it.
There's so many magazines that have folded now.
Because
they've just gone to
their intentions,
digital.
their intentions is to, I'm going to get rich. I want to, you know, or their intentions is a little bit different. I want to get known. I want to be known. I want to, you know, and you have time for that, you know, if you put the work in. You know, people will notice you if you put the work in. You don't really have to like really put yourself out like that. Like how people are doing it now, like on social media, you know, how many likes can I get? You know, I'm taking pictures of myself all the time. I mean, I understand everybody loves themselves, you know, but it's kind of weird, but that's what
It's
this world's
just so narcissistic now, really.
Right.
It's gotten to the
Right.
point where it's just ridiculous.
Right.
You see people out there just, wow.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people, right?
Yeah. It's,
I always tell
always have
people
that-
that.
we always have
I
that
always
talk
say,
about that.
friend, it don't matter if you have 50,000 friends. Friends are the one that help you move a refrigerator upstairs.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And
Well,
there's
that's
not
a
going to be
friend.
50,000 of those around,
No,
let me tell you.
you'd be lucky if you get 5. You wouldn't
Yes.
get 5.
Right.
That's what it means. You can have 10,000 followers. You could have 100 followers, but if those 100 followers support you 100%,
Right.
that's all you need.
Even in marketing, you know, people say, "Oh my God, they got like 10 million followers. I need to advertise with them." No, you don't. Those 10 million followers, free followers, they're not going to pay you anything.
Yeah.
You know, you want paid people. You got to walk into like, you know, to a Dodgers game, right? Everybody walks into a Dodgers game. They're paying money to get in there. Those are paying people. Those are the people that are consumers. Instagram people, Facebook people, they're not really consumers. They're just they're watchers. You know, I mean, you could get some of the consumers, but not all 10 million or 5 million are consumers. They're just seeing what they're you know, unless you're an influencer.
We got to show a little love to Fernando Valenzuela, who just passed
for
recently.
sure.
I was telling Jim earlier that he's the one that brought the Latinos back to the Dodger Stadium, really.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know, after that whole situation with clearing of people out of Chavez Ravine to build the stadium, and they did them dirty, all those people, you know, they really did. That's the truth. It just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths in the Chicano community, and Fernando brought them all back.
Right.
You know,
well, he's the one that brought an actual Mexican into the sports, professional sports.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I've been watching clips of it, you know, because I don't really watch it, you know, too much, but I should be watching it now because, like I said, I've been watching clips. I saw Ice Cube get it up in there. He started singing "Bow Down," and toward the end, he's like, you know, we're doing this for Fernando, you know, and that was kind of cool for him to say that.
It's funny you mention Ice Cube right now because one time I was on Instagram and I don't know how it popped up, but Snoop's page popped up, and Snoop was live. Right? So I thought, well, let me go and see what's going on. And Snoop was live watching Boulevard Nights.
Oh, shit.
And he was saying, y'all don't even know about this movie. You should know about this film, man. This is one of the OGs.
That's right.
I thought, geez, there's Snoop watching Boulevard Nights live on Instagram. Damn.
Well, like I said, it's a very iconic movie, man. Very,
amazing.
very iconic movie. If you don't know about lowriding, that is a very educational movie to watch. Boulevard Nights, I keep saying it. And everybody I talk to, I keep saying it. If you need a movie, go to Jim's place. Time Warp. He has them, right, Jim?
Right.
Okay.
But Time Warp is
And then also, you have them at your shop, too.
Yeah, but I'm in Texas.
That's okay. People in Texas should be listening up.
San Antonio.
And he
Texas.
has the Blu-ray now.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, oh, God, the Blu-ray. Oh, my God.
Nice and crispy.
Unbelievable.
Huh?
It's just unbelievable. A 4K scan, which is even better than the Blu-ray of American Me, which is only a 2K scan. Wow. But a 4K scan of the original camera negative. That negative is almost 50 years old. Wow. Scratches and marks and fading, color fading. You should see those lowriders now. They pop like candy.
Wow.
It looks amazing. And
well, where can they go to get them?
you can get Boulevard Nights on Amazon, or you can get them from
your
me.
website? No, but
you
give
can
your
go
website.
my website, ddlpmerch.com.
Okay.
If you want an autographed copy.
There you go.
But yeah, they've got them everywhere. But it's beautiful, though. Of course, you can't watch it on a DVD player. You have to have a Blu-ray player or an Xbox.
Right. Well, that's the way to do it.
Man, the technology, just incredible. I don't think I've ever seen it look like that, even when it came out. In movie theater. I think it looks better than it did in movie theaters when it came out.
Right.
That's how good it looks now. And I'm amazed that Warner Brothers is willing to spend all that money.
For the they're the ones that put out the Blu-rays?
Yeah, because usually they farm it out to these Blu-ray companies, these boutique companies that just deal with physical media, because the studios only want to deal with digital files. They don't want to deal with DVDs and Blu-rays or God knows what else, laser discs, all that stuff.
Are they a little bit more expensive, the Blu-rays, or are they same?
They're a little more expensive, yeah.
More expensive?
But the quality is unbelievable.
Right. You don't have any at your shop?
No, I haven't picked them up yet. I haven't found a source to get them. But I'll work on it.
We've got to find a distributor.
A distributor.
Okay.
A lot of distributors fold it too because they don't want to produce DVDs or CDs anymore.
I mean, you've left some signed ones at Time Warp, haven't you?
No, I haven't left any at Time Warp.
It's good. I'll find it, you know.
No, but he should leave you some signed ones as well so they can have
I have very few. You see, it's like precious metal. I can't afford to give them my gold and my silver right now.
Danny does not... Right. You before we started the podcast, you heard Danny ask you where the box was for your bobbleheads.
Of course. Yeah. No, I got it. No, I'm a collector too. I keep all my stuff. No, me too. I collect a lot of stuff. I mean, look, I even got the East Side Stories. That's the original one. That, I kept that.
I got the vinyl from Jim.
Vinyl from Jim.
The whole collection.
Yeah.
It's
No,
nice. I like
He
it.
he is. Those are his babies. I told him people want to buy the bobbleheads because he left me one. And they can't buy that from you. They're buying me. I gotta sign it. So,
My stuff isn't like you go buy it somewhere.
No, that's good.
My stuff is I'm there.
That's right.
I sign it. We take pictures together. It's a whole interactive thing.
Right, and
So-
that's
it's just
good.
cottage. I'm like a little cottage industry. I'm like Sonny. I don't try to get bigger than I need to be. I do what I can handle, and that's it. Because I ain't
special.
no spring chicken. So you know what I'm saying. I got to be able to handle whatever it is I'm putting out there.
Right. It has to be something special and meaningful.
Yeah,
Special and meaningful, and then
and I prefer to be there with my
right.
stuff because it's representing me.
And you're everywhere. That's another thing. You are everywhere. You're at all the events. And since I can remember way back in Stockton, this is like, I want to say 2000.
Oh yeah.
It was in 2000.
I've been since the 90s.
And that's when we saw you start going to a couple of events here and there. And we're like, we need to bring him in, bring him out to our
What's
events.
funny about that is the whole thing with the marketing and going out there and signing autographs and everything. It didn't even start in the States. It started in Japan. Wow. That's the first place I went to where they invited me and then they asked me to bring some merchandise.
Right.
But I didn't have merchandise.
Right.
So I made a T-shirt and a sweatshirt and I brought some VHS copies of Boulevard Nights.
Oh, shit.
And I sold them for $100 a copy.
Damn. Well, it should be worth more. You signed them and everything? You got them signed?
Yeah, are you kidding? Heck yeah. For $100?
Yeah.
I signed them and kissed them and did everything else they wanted me to do to them.
VH1.
did they ever make it on Laserdisc?
I heard there was a Japanese laser disc of it, but I've never actually seen it.
Damn.
But I did see the beta tape. That was one of my friends in Denver.
So you haven't gone out there since, or?
Oh, I've been out many times. Last
out
time I
there?
went was 2017, I think.
Okay, so it's been a while. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a little while since
I've never been out there.
You've never been.
Nope,
You
I've
would
been.
love it. The lowriding scene is just it's not as big as it used to be, but it's
Right.
still active. It's still there.
Right. Well, I mean, that's, to me, it doesn't matter how big it is. I like to grab
It's
the
true. It's true.
real people that
You'll
are
love
out
it.
there.
You'll love it for the trueness of it.
Yes. It's kind of like how
Yeah.
my car show yesterday. You know, the people you got there,
Yeah.
those are the true lowriders that like to come out and support and be
Yeah.
part. Because I know I did my show a little bit too late. You would have got way more bigger boom in my June show, because usually I do the shows in June.
Yes.
This time I had to do it in October because San Jose needs a Streetlow show every year, and I'm going to give it to it every year, even though there was some political things going on, but everything got fixed.
Yeah.
So they're giving me June 23rd for next year, and it's going to give me more time to promote. I only promoted this show for 1 month.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 weeks, right? Because I really started pushing this show in 2 weeks. And I got it a month ago, and I promoted it in 2 weeks. So that's 2 weeks promotion, that show.
But you still had your hardcores there.
Oh, 300 cars. We had 300
Yeah.
cars, and, I mean, quite a bit of people.
2 weeks. That's
For 2
pretty
weeks.
good.
And a lot of vendors. Yeah, so my heart goes out to everybody that came out and supported us, yourself, Jim, everybody that came out and was part of the event. I mean, that's what makes it strong, and it makes it good because, how can I say, the elevation of lowriding has grown, and people are like, oh my God, it's getting bigger and bigger. I see it, but I don't, because I've been around it all my life. So it's never left me. I can't sit there and say, oh, it is getting bigger or it's getting more popular. It's always been popular to me. I heard Stefan from
Oriol?
I think they did a documentary on him.
Yeah.
Which I saw it, and he was like, I think it was in 2013. He got an Impala from somebody that was given to him, or somebody helped him get it. And he was like, oh man, I see the lowriding scene getting stronger now, but it's always been strong, and where I kind of wanted to go back on that is to say it's when you get an actual lowrider yourself is when you kind of start seeing everything. It's like you buying a Honda,
And then you notice everybody driving that same car. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like when I seen him say that, it's getting stronger. No, it's been strong. But now that he has his car, he will understand and notice this movement of lowriders everywhere. And, the more you get into it, one thing I did see during the pandemic, I seen this whole just jump from the car prices, because these cars were like, they were cheap. You could buy an Impala.
Went from affordable to unaffordable.
Very unaffordable. It's kind of like, should I buy a
house or a lowrider?
A house or a lowrider, exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, to me, it was like, it's never gone. That's why even going to Japan, to me, even if there's a couple of lowriders out there, just to go out there and meet them and be part of that culture. What they're
not
doing.
just the lowriding thing, but just to see their appreciation for Chicano culture in general. It's just amazing.
Well, I see some YouTubes about that too.
Yeah,
where
you can watch it all on YouTube.
Where they go around and they're talking to them, the music, the way the girls dress,
the tattoos they put on them, the
big
way they
influence.
dress, and it's not like fashion to them. It's not some trendy thing.
It's a lifestyle.
They're doing it as a lifestyle.
Yeah. No, it's. And
there's your brothers and sisters out there. Is basically what it is. They're just from a different culture.
That's right. And it's growing everywhere, because I know we had Australia. They sent us some photos from Australia. Some guys had some nice bombs in Australia.
It's a little bit in Vietnam, and Thailand, and Brazil.
Yes.
Germany.
Yep. Germany. They sent me, this is when we first started the magazine, I want to say 1999. Somebody submitted some pictures from Germany, from a car show. And the cars that were in it looked like they got stuck from the 70s. And I'm like, those are your guys' lowriders? He goes, oh, yeah, these were bought from GIs in the 70s. I go, really? He goes, oh, yeah, the people that got stationed in Germany, if you get stationed in Germany, you have a choice to take your automobile to Germany. So these guys are taking lowriders to Germany and then selling them. Because when I went to Germany for a month. When I was in Germany, I had pictures of my cars. I showed them, because I own a 59. I own two 59s, but at the time I had one 59, and I showed him the picture of it, and the guy goes, oh, my God, you could trade this for a brand new Mercedes, top-of-the-line Mercedes for this car. I'm like, really? He goes, oh, yeah.
Wow.
And it was a trip, because I went to this place called Birch's Gardens. We drove out there, and I seen a Ferrari. And to me, I was like, oh, fuck, a Ferrari. This is dope. Next to a Corvette. Corvettes, we see them all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Corvette. This is in 1992. So it was a 1992 Corvette and a Ferrari. Everybody was around the Corvette. Nobody was even paying attention to the Ferrari. Everybody was like, whoa, look at that. And I'm like looking at the Ferrari. I'm looking at the Ferrari going, damn, this thing's nice. But everybody was on the Corvette. And I asked the guy, why is everybody on the Corvette? He goes, it's an American car. And that's when I learned the prices of jeans. Levi's jeans were $100. God, what else was expensive over there? I mean, everything to do with America. Yeah. Anything American was expensive. And I went out there, and at that time I would wear different jerseys. I had a New York jersey. I had a Giants jersey. I had an LA. I had different jerseys I used to wear. And I would wear one every day. And the guy goes, oh, you must be rich. I'm like, shh. I buy these over there for $30, man. No, those are like $200-$300 here, but it was different. It was definitely a culture shock, because it was just after a month I was like, I gotta go home. I can't be here. I love being out here and kind of like seeing the different stuff out there. Because I went to Birch's Gardens, I went to Munich.
A month is a long time.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, after the third week, I was like banging my head on because the TVs I didn't understand. I stood there and just, watched all these American with no English. I'm like, and then internet didn't exist at the time, so there's no way I could, communicate with anything. And then I felt how a foreigner feels when they come to America and they can't speak. You're like, yeah. I learned a couple of words, but it was pretty tough.
Yeah, German's not easy.
And it's beautiful. The place is gorgeous. There's this place in the United States. It's when I went there, it reminded me of Germany, and that's North Carolina. Have you ever been to North Carolina?
No.
That's how Germany looks. It's you're driving down the freeway, and all you see is forest. If you want to see a city, you take an exit. Some have cities, but you take an exit, and the town is like deep inside.
Yeah, like recessed.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. It's just all green, and that's how Germany is, just green. When I got back to San Jose, I was just like, we live in a desert. This is a fucking California is a desert compared to Europe is just green. It's beautiful. But, just to see all that different art culture in those areas, it's kind of cool,
Yeah, I've been wanting to take a little trip out to Australia.
Australia.
And check out the lowriders out there.
There's a friend of mine was telling me there's he does tattoos. Secret Sidewalk, I mentioned him. His name's Eddie from Secret Sidewalk. He goes to Spain.
Spain, okay.
So they have a big, huge tattoo convention in Spain, and it's kind of crazy because he was telling me, he goes, you got to go out there. He goes, the Chicano culture is huge, man. If you guys go out there, take your magazine, it's huge, and you can get your. He goes, I make all this money out there. I go, what do you do? He goes, I'll make $20,000-$30,000 in tattooing.
Doing Chicano style?
Yeah,
tattoos?
yeah. And I go, what do you do? He goes, I leave it. I don't switch the money. I leave it there. Actually, I think he even opened up a bank account. I'm not too sure, but he said he wanted to keep the money there, but because to bring it to the States, I guess they would tax.
I would love to go. I made a film there and lived there for 10 weeks.
In Spain,
right after Boulevard Nights.
Oh shoot!
Yep, I was there for 10 weeks. That was a long time.
What was the name of the movie?
Cuba. With Sean Connery.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, I like that little film. It's a little quirky film directed by Richard Lester, who directed The Beatles and A Hard Day's Night and Help.
Right.
And The Three Musketeers and all these other films.
But there was another movie that you made that was filmed here, right, in Watsonville. They said.
That was years later. That's Brotherhood of Justice with Keanu Reeves.
So they were talking about that there was another Lowrider movie before Boulevard Nights, but I said no. Boulevard Nights was the first one, right?
Yeah, it was the first one.
And then there was
And then there was Duke of Earl. That came after.
But that was more like street, right?
Victory Outreach.
Victory Outreach.
That was a
San Jose thing, right?
San Jose thing.
But I think they shot Duke of Earl in 1980?
They shot it here in San Jose. They had it at the fair.
In Southern California too. They shot in both places. Duke of Earl has scenes.
It's been so many years since I've even looked at that movie.
Well, the influence of gangs.
Yeah, it was
from LA that came here, right? A lot of it that a lot of the gangs came into San Jose at the time. Because I've heard some like OGs tell me, oh yeah, like Victor, Little Vic. Is it Little Vic
from the movie?
No. The hoods here in San Jose at one time.
Oh,
where are the old neighborhoods?
Peach Court. Horseshoe.
Okay, no, but those I think they were Northern California. But I think there was some Southern California gangs at the time.
They came here.
They came here and they started growing here. That was the problems there. But there was no colors at the time. Everything was neutral. I think it was like whatever you wore, you matched your color. Because I never really saw colors myself till I want to say later 80s, right?
Yeah,
80s. That's when they started like really separating themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it was God, what is it called? Oh my God, I'm like, and I seen that actual film on it. There's a YouTube thing on it too. They were talking about the influence of gang culture that came from Southern California.
I think I remember seeing something like that on Channel 9 or something had a special on.
Right.
Not just here, but they were like doing Oakland. They were talking about Bloods and Crips influences.
Oh no, this is the old film. No, this is like in the 70s. This is straight 70s film. It was like a PBS type film. It was like an older school type of film.
There was a film back then called Homeboys.
Right, no, but I think this was
78, 77, somewhere.
It could have, but because I know there was a couple. There was some in Los Angeles, but this was actually filmed here in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
And it was like they were following like 2-3 of the guys. God, I got to remember that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to.
It'd be good to check that out sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe you could find some scenes from it on YouTube.
Yeah. No, because I seen it. I was like tripping out, and I'm like, Little Vic or Vic Town.
There's Little Valley.
Vic. Oh my God.
Vickystown.
Vickystown. There you go. There you go. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna get Vickystown, and that was from Southern California. That was an influence from Southern California that came here called Vickystown. Remember that?
I remember Vickystown in the LA area.
Yeah, no, but that came over here too. It was here because they filmed it But I mean, these kids are getting shot at the time. I mean, they were kids. That was a long time ago.
Well, what was the gangs in Boulevard Night, 11th Street, and
They were fictional.
fictional? Yes,
It's all fictional.
but I thought Duke of Earl had that fictional gangs in the movie Duke
Were
of
they
Earl.
fictional too? I don't remember.
Yeah, they were fictional.
Yeah.
But
'Cause they couldn't run with the actual gang, and
I just love
Yeah.
that story, how they turned out that girl from another culture,
right.
and then she ends up being a chola at the end of the film. It was like quite an arc.
A movement.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Boulevard Nights did influence a lot of those that came. What's the movie with Robbie Benson?
Walk Proud.
Walk Proud. That
It was-
people ask
they were-
about
you
it.
know, You know how American Me and Blood In, Blood Out were made in the same summer?
Right.
Boulevard Nights and Walk Proud were also made in the same summer. It's the same scenario, repeated itself 13 years later. But when we made Boulevard Nights, I went on the set of Walk Proud first because they started filming before we did, and then I started making Boulevard Nights.
No, but you guys killed them with Boulevard Nights.
Well, Walk Proud, it was different because you had Robbie. He was, a young Jewish cat with blue eyes, and he was a good actor. But trying to make him play a Chicano, that was a little bit more than Robbie could handle.
You know what we need is more positive type Chicano influence movies. Like
I'm down for positive, but I think more in terms of real.
real
keep it
stuff.
real.
Right. No, and stuff that we
Because life
go
isn't
through.
all cherries and roses and
Right.
daisies. Life isn't positive sometimes.
Right. No, it isn't. But I
That's
think
what makes it interesting is when you tell a story about people's lives. The good, the dark, and the light, it's all part of it,
right. But what I keep seeing is the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think, it needs to change a little bit as far as like real. Like, I don't know. I remember I think I told you something about creating a movie about 5 characters that were influenced by lowriding.
Yes.
It had to be with,
Yes.
you have a Chicano, you have a black guy, you have a Japanese guy, you have
That's a great idea, but it's
know.
never going to get done unless we do it ourselves.
correct.
That's really the only way it's ever going to happen. They don't even make movies like Boulevard Nights and American Me and Mi Vida Loca or that kind of thing anymore. They don't really do that.
Right. Because, I mean, it's what's going on now. I think that's what they want now is what's going on now. And I mean, it's kind of like, who to me is a good filmmaker, and I think it's and he's kept up with his times and what he's doing is Ice Cube. Ice Cube is a really, I don't know who's writing all that. I'm pretty sure it's him, part of it, but he has culture in it.
Yeah.
Black culture, and he has Chicano culture in his movies. And that to me is like, and they're positive, they're funny, but we don't have nothing like that for ourselves.
But I think Ice, he knows his market, He
Right,
knows the people he's appealing to, who his audience is, and
Right.
he's creating with that in mind.
Right. But I'm pretty sure he's putting his own money out as well.
Yeah, I think he probably is.
Because I don't think America itself, or regular America itself, is wanting to invest in something like this. And it takes off. Anything that we do or anything the Chicano culture does or black culture does, this takes off. It takes off hard because it's been in the thing is, the black culture, they've done a lot and they're moving very quick. They've moved very quick and they've done the movies they're making, like Mary Wells, when they made the Cadillac movie. That was, we have musicians too, the Midnighters, all these, a movie of Santana,
Yeah.
Why don't we have that? That's what I'm saying about positive. I know it's true.
Yeah, or Lalo Guerrero.
Yeah.
That's another great story,
Right.
man, telling his story.
Or even the Ruben Guerrero. No, was it the fighter? Was the wrestler, right? What's his name? Ruben Guerrero. The wrestler that passed away.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie Guerrero, sorry. Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Ruben Guerrero. He's a boxer. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eddie Guerrero. Movies about these guys. The good, the bad, and the history lesson.
Well, you could tell us a thing or two about trying to get something going out there when you were doing your reality show.
Well, we were trying, man. We were trying, but we knocked at everybody's door. We were in places. We even moved into Discovery. I was in the buildings of Discovery, sitting down with executives and stuff, and they saw our show, and they were very interested. But it got to the big wig, and he was like, "No, it looks too scary."
Did you see any of it, Jim?
The documentary?
No, our reality show.
His reality show?
I did not.
Right.
I know you were working on it at the time,
Right.
and but it's just like Lynn Ramirez. Wasn't he working on a Story in King?
Right. No, but we actually finished a lot of episodes.
You have completed episodes.
Yeah, we spent like almost $500,000 in doing this.
So what he said, what Danny said, and you were saying is true. If not you, then who?
No one's gonna.
Right.
If not us, then who? You got to sometimes get people to invest in it. And it's just like when records were released back in the day, it took families to support these records to get pressed. Right. I know, speaking from my brother's experience when he did his album, it was a lot of money to get it out. Right. And Duke's Car Club in Southern California funded some of that money. And the record did take off on LA radio stations. Right. But because of the money that had to be recouped, things just got kind of messed up, and the radio station pulled it off the air because there was no distribution. You couldn't get it out to record stores, so it went away. It's not like now. People are producing their own 45s, their own records now and getting them out there. Lower numbers,
Right. Yeah.
but that's why a lot of music went away, because record labels wanted like 150,000 pieces sold the first year. Otherwise, they dump it.
Wow.
And that's why you saw CDs come out, went away. Records came out, went away. And then some of the CDs now have become, as people are collecting vinyl, are trying to collect CDs that have gone away because they're not making them anymore. But a movie, that's a lot of money. But
I mean, it can be done. I've gone to some film project festivals that I've seen, and the story's the same. You know, I had some friends of ours that were creating some movies here in San Jose, and same thing. Oh, this young kid, he got stuck in gangs, and he goes, and it was good, but he goes, "What do you think about it?" I'm like, "It's okay," but why don't we see something different?
Have you seen the Chicano Hollywood app?
No.
They have their own platform. It'd be great for you to get your show on there, so that people could see it, because there's a lot of shows on that app.
You know, I try to put it in the hands of George Lopez, you know, and I gave him a USB drive of the show, and I told him, I said, "Well, can you just look at it?" You know, and he grabbed it, but that was it. You know, Citrus is one of his right hand guys that he did the show with, the Lopez show. I had brought him a couple of times to our event, Big Citrus.
Yeah.
You know, so I gave it to him too, but he was like, "Oh, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, because it's business, really.
Yeah.
We're friends. When it's about business, it's basically, you kind of almost have to talk to him about it." And my thing was just, can you push it somewhere? I mean, you got a huge influence to bring up more Chicanos into this industry in a different way, because you got to look at my show. It's different. It's not you know, and you're dealing, like you say, it's real. I'm real. You're gonna get everything from how I get events, how I get started, and I'm doing it all on my own. You know, from permits to the places, to putting out the money. I'm doing it on my own. I'm not asking for handouts, because, you know, there's a man above that's helping me out all the time. And, you know, when I think it's going to go bad, it turns around and it does good, you know, and I don't never wish bad on anybody. So I'm like, why can't this take off? Like, you know, and it was a tough thing, because we were pushing it to different agencies too. There's that agency that I guess actors use, Mike something. They're out of San Diego. I forgot the agency. Oh my God, I forgot all kinds of
to represent
to represent the actual show
project,
itself, and to actually farm it out. And it didn't go too far. And then I talked to one of the guys that actually put that show together, Survival. One of the directors from Survival. I had a talk with him. And I talked to him for like 45 minutes, which is crazy. And this is the guy that actually created Survivor. And I don't want to say his name because I don't want to be like, but he was, when I talked to him for 45 minutes, he just told me, the problem is it's too culture. It's too cultural.
Yeah.
And I said to him, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, it's too cultural. He goes, the reason why Survivor took off is because it's about everything. And when you're only specifically going to one specific culture, the big wigs don't want to invest because they see a huge picture. And you might not see it because you're not in their position, and they've been there and they've done that. Try to create something that's a little bit different. I said, well, look at Duck Dynasty. That's kind of like he goes, yeah, but you have to understand anybody could hunt ducks. I go, yeah, but it's like kind of like, look at it. I mean, it's a cultural thing too. I said, think about us. Like we're Duck Dynasty. And then all the biker shows too. They were saying that we were too scary, but then you got all these biker shows.
Yeah, Mayans. And,
right. Then that looks pretty scary to me, but
Sons of Anarchy.
But it shows that they're human too. You might look how you look, but don't judge a book by its cover. That big biker all tied up, he probably sleeps at home with a little teddy bear, has a little dog. He's chilling.
Well, I recommend you download the Chicano Hollywood app and look at what's on that platform now.
Chicano Hollywood
Yeah,
app.
if you've never heard of Chicano Hollywood, I highly recommend you get into them. Because the guy that runs it is really straightforward, a good guy. Right. And I think that'd be a great place to instead of sitting on a shelf somewhere where nobody's appreciating it or seeing it.
Well, I wanted to put it out during the pandemic. I had talked to John, Big John. Yeah. I had talked to John about putting it out, and he was like, oh, hold on. We got this, we have this other guy. We just signed a contract. I go, stop signing contracts. Let's get this sucker on YouTube.
Yeah,
Who cares,
You'll
man?
be in that signing contracts phase for a decade.
So he sits there, he's like, well, if we put it on YouTube, it's not going to generate as much.
Don't put it on YouTube. No, don't do that. I would wait and do it on the platform.
On a platform. So that's kind of like what we've been. But I'm going to check that one out.
Chicano Hollywood.
Chicano Hollywood. Okay, I'm going to check that out.
Yes, sir.
And is it like a TV thing, or is it just?
No, it's a movement. Chicano Hollywood is a huge movement.
It's a movement.
I just came from their conference they had about 2 months ago in Hollywood, and it's awesome just to see all these filmmakers and showrunners and producers and directors and writers and these are people with major credits coming together to make something happen, for all these creatives who need a place to put their stuff.
Right. Well, I think there's some cats from San Jose that actually there's one cat out of San Jose that's a filmmaker, and he went to LA, started filming as well, and they created Slipping in the Darkness. I forgot the name of the guys, man. I'd like to say their name, but they created a little short film called Slipping into Darkness. You got to check it out. It's really, really good. And they're going to create series about it. And they had the whole thing going, all that. But I think what it is, it's money, man. It's the money behind you. Are they really going to help you push it? Do they, and sometimes I think directors, producers, they're very narcissist people. If they didn't think about it, it's not good, because I see a lot of good stuff out there, but it never gets played or, nobody sees it because it stops. They can red tape you and that's it. Don't let this guy out. Leave him in the box. If he wants to build himself and ruin it, put it out there, let him do it. But we're not going to put him on this platform.
Well, I think check out Chicano Hollywood. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
See,
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Definitely check it out.
You can always just create your own short films and put it out. I mean, maybe now Streetlow Magazine, are people buying the magazines, or you do electronic digital video production and start putting out your magazines in short film series, like you're doing now with this YouTube, and put these little documentaries and produce them, put them out there, because TikTok has influenced a lot of people and has gotten a lot of people rich, not rich to be, I'm rich buying a Ferrari, but rich to create fund more other people, help other people. The problem we have as a society, especially in our culture, we see somebody succeeding and we're like the crabs in the bucket.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want to let anybody out into the world succeeding. We pull them back in with us to stay humble, stay low, instead of pushing people out. Like you mentioned Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and all. They've always brought other rappers up along. But our culture, we hate on each other a lot. I'm sorry to say it, but Gilbert, your magazine, you got people that have, and we won't have to mention names. They know who they are. They just hate on you. And the same thing with Sonny. Sonny had a lot of haters that used to come in when he hung out with me in the store. Sonny thinks this, Sonny that. And I said, hey, I don't want to hear it. Just live through the haters, but create maybe the digital part of Streetlow now. That's your next step. Right. We talked last night at the car show. I was talking with JJ Amaya, and we were talking about Los Yesterdays and how the music's coming out of Southern California, all these young artists. And I told them, I talk to artists here, musicians, start bringing these young singers up and recording them, get them recorded and produce them on a record label here in Northern California, so the 45s could start coming out of this area as well. There's a lot of talent in this area.
Oh no, there is.
But they just need to get somebody direct them, take them under their wing, and just put them on the right path, how to press records. And with all the knowledge a lot of us know, we can help each other, like we talked about, helping each other with promoting each other. It doesn't take money to promote somebody and tag them in Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and get them known out there.
Or talk good about them. There's a lot of people, like you say,
build up interest in them.
Instead of helping them out, people start throwing dirt on each other and creating. It's like our car show. This one guy goes, what's crazy about your show is these cars, I don't see them at this other car show. And at that car show, I don't see these cars over there.
Right.
I go, maybe because it's different area. He goes, no, it's this. There's something different, And I say, well, sometimes a lot of these promoters like to talk and try to influence and poison these other followers, I want to say. Yeah. They poison these guys and they think, Streetlow this, Streetlow that. One of the biggest thing I always talked about, they always kept saying, Streetlow brings all these little girls. But they're not little girls. And we don't bring them. They a lot of them come on their own, The girls that we have brought, they're of age, man. They're and I always said, at the age that I was, when we first started the magazine, I was 25 years old. I wasn't supposed to bring 40-year-old girls, 30-year-old girls to our show. We're going out talking to 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, because I figured, they're growing with the magazine. Okay, we could. Right. She's 18. We could use her till she's 25. And if she's down with us, she becomes a supporter and a loyal supporter. But that's has always been a part of the problem. Like you said, once you start, success, haters come with success. If you succeed, you're gonna get the haters. Or if you're doing something positive, you're gonna get the people that are gonna hate on you. And you're always gonna get that person always trying to block you from doing an event. They're going to do an event the same day. Yeah. Or if you do a song, or even record people, you put out a song, I got to pull one out the next week. Or, it comes with success.
And the way I look at it is anything that comes to San Jose and does something for the city is positive.
For sure. And
that's what I always tell other people when they speak about other things. I said, instead of speaking against it, support it. When you first called me about the Lowrider exhibit at the library, remember that one?
I love that.
Yeah, that was a great thing. And when I went to talk to Estella, her mind was already getting so many attacks from people that were, you should have this person, you should have that person. And instead of me, and I ended up being the curator for that event, but I wasn't planning on it.
Right.
I tried to get Chuy Gomez or Javier the X-Man to be that speaker. but they couldn't because of schedules. So she asked me and Kathy, the lady there, and I said, sure, no problem. Right. And then after that, I've had a few people ask me, why don't you be here, speak there? Right. But I just speak from the heart what I feel and what I see. And you're right. I have seen more people taking sides and dividing the community more than trying to unite it. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do at that library, was get everybody united there and talk. And not just for San Jose, but all of California, all of, from south to all the way up north, and supporting each other in what we do, because we're all family.
Right.
That was such a great exhibition. I saw the very high, like the last day, didn't I?
Yeah.
God, it was just great.
Right. And that's
loved it. All that history, just right there, bam, right in front of your face.
So you went to the second one or the first one?
That was the first one.
First one.
First one, yeah. The first one was when she hit me up, and I said, she didn't know what to do. Estella didn't know where to go. She was getting hit up by just certain people. I said, no. You need to talk to everybody. You need to get everybody involved, because everybody has a story to tell.
And it's a big history.
Yeah, everybody has a story to tell, and I think nothing should be unturned for the stories, because there's a lot of influence in San Jose. Starting with Sonny Madrid. Yeah. That was my number one thing. I go, you need to focus on him, because believe it or not, I know Binding was there before. During the time, I'm kind of almost confused. Binding came after or during, or she was just in the mix. I don't want to discredit her for anything, because I know she did a lot. Her and what's his name? Frank. Her and Frank did a lot during that time. They were promoters doing car shows in San Jose.
Didn't it kind of overlap a little bit?
Yeah, they were.
Again, it was competition. It was a competition.
Okay.
It was competition. Yeah. It's like everything. I'm doing my show, you're doing your show. Whose is better? Mine's better. But I think everybody always needs a little competition. Just it pushes you to the next level. Yeah. And after a while, you're just almost competing about yourself, just to make sure you're better than anything that comes through. And then after a while, you just want to do it for the people. You want to make sure that they're happy when they come in. For events, or even a magazine. You want to make sure that when they're buying a magazine, they're getting their money's worth, and they're getting to see each other. It's kind of,
See, the way I look at my marketing is that's exactly the way I see it. I look at everything that I put out there as, if I was a fan, what would I like to see? What would I like to experience? What would be the best thing for me as a fan if I was a fan? And that's what I do. Everything that I do, I try not to do anything cheap. Right. Sometimes I go out and see these celebrities with these, 8.5 by 11 pictures of themselves. They're all pixelated and, stuff they probably had made at Kinko's for $1.25. They're charging $50 for them. Right. I don't care. You're charging good money. That's fine. But if you're going to charge good money,
quality.
Yeah, give them some quality. There's no quality control here at all. Right. And then people just line up and pay it anyway. Right. But that doesn't make me want to make my stuff any less, valuable or whatever.
No, and you shouldn't, because you're everywhere, so you can't.
Yeah, because I figure when I'm gone, that little bobblehead's still sitting there on your shelf.
Right there, yeah.
And I'm history,
Right.
But at least you can look at it, and it'll probably be around for another 20 or 30 years, because it isn't a piece of crap.
Yeah, no, it's
It took some time and some effort and some money to produce something of that quality. And I know it's a little more pricey or a little more expensive, but hey, you get what you pay for.
Right. No, and the quality's there. I got the other one still.
But we need to think of that in terms of how we create
and market
what we
yourself.
do. Like if you're going to go out there, like I was telling Jim, get a haircut. Put something nice on. Don't just roll out of bed like something the cat drug in and go out there and expect the public to stand in line for you.
Right.
I think celebrities have a responsibility. I really do.
Right.
And also to be grateful for the love that, people make you famous.
Right.
People do that. They make you popular.
Right.
They vote for you.
Right.
They support you. Look at all these oldies songs. They would have been gone a long time ago.
Right.
If it wasn't for the support of the community.
Right. The culture, yeah.
I look at myself as one of those oldies too.
Right.
I'm somebody that did something years and years and years ago that people are still celebrating to this day. Why? Because they have an appreciation for it. If they didn't have that appreciation, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well, you're a platform. The movie was a platform to what
Yes.
is going on right now.
Yes.
Lowrider Magazine was a platform for what's going on.
But
right
our
now.
community, yes, we do drag each other down, but when we love something, we do support it.
Right,
And I have
right,
seen that. I've had so much love from people. I don't even know these people. They're total strangers to me, but they treat me like I'm a member of their family.
Right.
And that to me is like, just blows me away sometimes.
Well, like the saying is success comes with hate. You got to have it. If you don't have it, you're not doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I've experienced a lot of that.
Oh no, I've had it for many years.
But I agree with you about the competition. Yeah, there's healthy competition, but like me, in terms of other actors, I would go out with when I would go to auditions, and if an actor needed me to go with him outside to read the lines,
Right.
even though we're going up for the same part, I would do it.
Right.
Because the way I look at it is this: if that part's meant to go to me, it's gonna go to me.
Right.
I don't care if you and your uncle and everybody else comes out to audition for it. If it's my part, if it's got my name on it, I'm taking it home.
Right,
And if it's yours, the same thing is true.
Correct.
So why do we have to feel like some actors won't even tell you that there's a audition for a part because they don't want you to go? They don't want the competition. I always thought that was bullshit.
Well, I mean that happens everywhere and everything.
Yeah, I just never liked playing that game. I agree, competition can be healthy. If somebody does good work, it inspires you. Correct. If I see a good performance by another actor, I'm like, damn, I need to step up my game.
Right.
But it's not going to be like, I hate him because he's so good. Hell no.
Have you had anything else going on right now as far as getting into another?
I worked on this documentary I worked on it for 7 years. And we've been screening it at film festivals. And next year we're going to put it on a platform. It's called The Life and Times of Jose Sarria. Okay. And it's a true story of a guy who lived in Northern California, San Francisco. The whole story takes place in San Francisco.
Wow.
And it's about his life. Just somebody that nobody knows about, kind of an unsung hero kind of character.
Well, you see, that's how I feel about all these groups.
There's so many. There's
That's
a
what I feel
million
about all the groups.
unsung hero stories out there.
Groups.
People's stories that never get told.
You hear their song, right? Just playing their song, but nobody knows who they are, but they love the song.
Well, that's not. Remember, I was asking you about Ruben's book. Remember Ruben's Encyclopedia of Oldies?
Yeah.
Fascinating. I would read that book and read about the history of these bands and think, God dang, I never knew that. Right. I never knew who these people were that made this
Molina,
great.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruben Molina.
Ruben Molina, yeah.
Looks a lot like Cheech Marin.
Right. No, he came up to my show when I was doing the shows up down south at Costa Mesa. Not Costa Mesa, sorry. It was in Long Beach at the Veterans Stadium.
Okay.
I did about 4 or 5 shows there, and he came up to me and gave me one of his books, signed it to me and everything. It had the 50 Chevy in front of it. I think it was a bomb he had in front of it.
That kind of brown color.
Brown color, yeah.
That's the first one.
That's the first
that
one.
was the first
So
one.
that's the one I got, and
I love that.
I let
book.
Paulie take it. R.I.P. Paulie.
You can't even get that book anymore.
No, Paulie has it. Oh, his family has it. But he actually signed that book over to me, and then Paulie saw it. He's like, bro, let me read it. I'm like, can I get it back though? Yeah. But I knew after he started writing for me music to write to in the magazine, because we have a section in our magazine that's about music, and so he loved what Ruben Molina was doing with these books, all the music. All the bands, all the
I loved it too.
Just the history on them was kind of cool.
All the research that man had to do.
Yeah.
All the digging to get that information.
Yep, a lot of work.
And God bless Paulie, by the way.
Right, yeah, poor Paulie, man. We had a great hop yesterday, though. Really good hop for him. We had his family there.
Did they hop higher than the cars do in Boulevard nights?
Oh, of course.
How many what kind of beer was that, Jim?
Michelob bottles.
How many Michelob bottles did they do in that?
Oh, this thing they went up to, I think, 70, 80. Right?
Touch the clouds? Did they touch 70. The clouds? I think
yeah.
they did.
In Boulevard Nights, remember the scene of the hop?
The little cans.
The two Michelob bottles.
Bottles.
And,
and I think when they were filming the part of the car, they didn't even film the bottle. He just I didn't even think it was hopping. It was just going. It was teeter time.
He was hopping.
It was like it was teeter time.
You see it a lot better now on the Blu-ray. You really do.
Right.
Yeah, you could tell it's Michelob.
You can tell it's Michelob.
But it's funny because there's also older film from older shows in Texas, because a lot of Texas shows were filmed a lot, like their car shows, Tejano shows, in these big old barns where they have the actual hopping inside of a barn, all the dirt. They would put the actual the beer. Oh my
Michelob,
God. Michelob bottles, or even Budweisers they had.
Yeah.
They would put them right there, and you could see them in the film, and then they were being filmed like in the mid 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, some of that stuff was like 8 millimeter and 16 millimeter.
Right. But it's out there. Yeah. If you go out there searching for it, you'll see it. There's there's definitely a lot of San Jose stuff that somebody continues to put out there. Even from the early stuff to the stuff now, even like with the riots that were going on in May, or Cinco de Mayo. We had Cinco de Mayo. There was some crazy riots going on, but I don't know. That's something else.
Frank Reese has a lot of video.
Frank Reese.
I've been after him, dude. Why don't you transfer that to DVD?
Oh, that stuff is so valuable now.
He's got a lot of stuff.
I have a case of videos when we first started, when Streetlow first started. I mean, a case of them. I had this one guy trying to offer me $10,000 for it. I was like, no, I'm not trying to sell it. He goes, let me buy it from you. I was like, no, it's a lot of history. Yeah, he wants to do it. We're gonna.
You know how to digitize it?
We're gonna learn.
Oh.
I've got about 20 hours of the making of American Me. I was the only person on the set allowed
to record it,
to have a video camera on the set, and I just started filming when I wasn't working. I go on the set and just start filming everything. And
did you have fun filming that movie, American Me?
It was fun. It was a lot of work. No question about it. A lot of work, but it was fun too. There was a lot of fun.
You guys were in San Quentin too, right?
The first 3 weeks were in San Quentin. But what I loved about it was they recreated the downtown LA in the 40s to shoot all that zoot stuff. I mean, they recreated a whole set on the back lot of Universal Studios. Michael Jackson came and visited the set one night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never saw him, actually, because I hear he was, in disguise. So I don't know who he was dressed as.
Was he that Chola?
He might have been a Chola. You never know. One of the extras.
La Pachuca.
Because he likes to just, stay undercover.
Wow.
But, they recreated all of that downtown L.A., and then they used so little of it. And they had the tattoo parlor and all these different shops and buildings, and everything was in there. All the props. Wow, it was amazing. I've got it all. I've got all of that on video.
When I seen that movie, I was like, wow, that movie was just dope. It was dope.
My jaw was on the floor when I first saw that film, and I made the movie, and I thought, oh my God. The first thing I thought was, what is my mother going to think of this?
You were
I'm going to be in so much shit.
Which, when you're in the kitchen?
And my mother was a born-again Christian at that time. She went from being a Catholic to being a born-again, and I was like, oh.
What part when you were in the kitchen?
All of it. It doesn't matter what part. If puppets in it.
When you're in the bathroom. What are you taking that?
I wasn't in the bathroom. I was in the basement.
In the basement. What are you doing?
I was waiting for the wire transfer to come down the pipe.
My
Eddie,
God.
I'll tell you a funny story. Eddie told me that was real poop. And he told me it had been disinfected. They put special chemicals in it to disinfect it.
They could use
it
chocolate?
wasn't real poop. It was tomato and
I was going to say, could they use chocolate?
He had me so freaked out. I was starting to gag. And all it was tomato. But
my God.
He just got such a kick out of telling me that. He loved to play jokes like that.
Oh, my God.
So it was fun. The set was fun.
Oh, my God.
Even though it was kind of serious,
Right.
I mean, I'd never been to a prison before.
Right.
3 weeks. Every day. It was intense.
Wow. No, that was very intense. The movie was really good.
You can't act fake when you're in a prison.
You see, that was very real, though.
I know. When I look at myself in those scenes in the prison now, when I look at myself, I can't even remember shooting those scenes. I look at that and just think, I don't know how I did that. Wow. I don't know how. I think I was probably so freaking scared. That all I had to do was just laser focus on that.
But a lot of things happen to the people that filmed that movie too, right?
That's there's a lot of political things that went behind the scenes. There's so much that people don't know about.
There was this one kid in the beginning when well, I think it was the end of the movie.
The very end, yeah.
When the kid was going to shoot somebody, he just shot.
Yeah,
into
the one in the back seat.
He ended up getting shot and got blind. And
a couple of weeks after he finished that scene, yeah.
He never got to see the movie.
He got to hear it.
Yeah.
I sat next to him in juvenile hall while he was watching it, and by then he had his seeing eye stick and.
Wow.
Yeah, but
crazy.
after seeing him healthy and with his vision, and then seeing him like that, just months later, it was kind of a shock, you know.
You know, one thing I trip out on is that I seen Blood In, Blood Out get more, like a lot of more people watch Blood In, Blood Out, and they kind of glorify it a little bit, right? Like they kind of, I want to say glorify it, but it's like more popular toward a lot of people. Like it's
people forget that Blood In, Blood Out is a Disney film. Right. It's made with Disney money. It was made by the Disney company. So it has the Disney power behind it.
To push it.
Yeah, to push it. Wow. So it got really, I think, a lot more push. And they waited, even though they started filming before us, they waited an extra year because that's why at the end of the film you see Crucito with no hair. Oh, excuse me. Crucito has no hair because they'd already been a year later and they had to go back and shoot that scene in the riverbed. Wow. You know, that ending scene because they weren't happy with the ending.
Right.
And that's a great scene.
Right.
That's
right.
Oh my God, that scene is probably the best scene in the whole film.
It's iconic. It's all.
But you have
TikTok.
to see the film to understand that scene, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So yes, but they came out in '93 and we opened in '92. Right. So they already had the benefit of seeing what happened when we came out. But you know that movie was a little bit more of a Hollywood style film as opposed to American Me, which is a little more documentary style, if you will.
Right. But it was a good movie, man. I enjoyed the beginning of the scene.
They're both good movies in their own way. They're both very enjoyable films, and you know, it just depends on your taste, really.
Right.
Some people like them both for different reasons.
Right. Well, it's almost the same thing. You know, it's about gang life.
Yeah, it's a similar stories, and there's a lot of similarities between the stories and the characters. It began as one film, and then it split off and it became two movies. But it was all going to be one film at one time.
Which one?
Blood and Blood and American Me. They were going to be one film. But then there was a little disagreement there, and
they split out.
They went off into two.
I think, like you said, American Me is more of a documentary style type movie. But
I like to say that with American Me, you get no KY, and with Blood and Blood Out, you do.
right. No, you get the full. I think the full story about what went on, what happened, and what. I mean, I'm gonna tell you a little story I actually did with my kids because my kids were growing up. I didn't want them to follow that gang life. I really didn't want to.
Then show them the movie and talk to them about it. That's how you do it.
I did do that. And it was funny because
let them ask questions.
My kid, they're like, I don't want to be a cholo. I don't want to be a cholo. They go, you're not. That's why I wanted to show them the movie so they could see this is what gang life is. You know, this is.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
You're giving yourself to somebody or a group that's going to control your life. You know, you got to take control of your own life and do your own thing.
The brothers in American Me are the best example ever. What could make you
kill your own brother?
Want to kill your own flesh and blood? What could cause you to do that? Whatever that is, it can't be right.
Right.
It can't be right. It's as simple as that. And Puppet and Little Puppet represent every Chicano, whether he's from Northern California or Southern California. You're killing your own, you're killing your brothers.
Right.
And they're just symbols to me.
Right.
Puppet and Little Puppet are symbols. Doesn't matter if you have the same last name or not, you know?
Right. Well, brown is brown because...
That's your brother right there.
If you even think about it, even the kids on the street that aren't related, but we're the same color... there's no need for that, man.
That's your brother. That's your clan.
You have to understand. To me, it's like the saying is, right? Divide and conquer. And so we're so many that they have to divide us somehow. And then we fall into that
trap.
That trap, and we get, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I am going to wear this color. I'm going to wear that color. I'm going to represent this hood.
But that's all of that is a form of mind control.
Sure.
When you can get people's minds wrapped around stuff like that, then you can control them. You know.
Right.
And if they can see beyond that, then they can get more in tune with who they really are inside. as opposed to trying to live up to some ideal that somebody else has created.
Right. Well, that's where a movie should come out, similar to doing
agree.
that.
I totally agree.
And even if it's fictional, I don't know.
Fictionalize
it.
Yeah, so you don't step on anybody's toes.
And make it seem like something that could happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's you getting two different groups together and realizing after a while, wait a minute, we both like beans.
I remember reading in history class back in high school about the Civil War, and I remember reading about brothers who had to fight brothers, and cousins who had to fight cousins on both sides of the war.
Of course, it's
that just stuck in my head.
That's what's going on now.
Yeah,
it's
the same thing.
It's
a bloody shame, is what it
a
is.
gladiator type style here, you know, killing each other. But no, it's true. But yeah, that's what's crazy about these movies. I think something positive should come out of it, and you know.
And just for the record, you did give me a great idea for a. I don't want to say it's a sequel or a prequel, but it's a film that would echo Boulevard Nights.
Right.
And I have taken your idea and I've kind of run with it. I've changed it a little bit.
Yeah, I know. When you told me about that.
But I didn't change it until years later because I needed time to marinate it in my head, in my mind. But it was a great idea, and I must thank you for that.
Right. No, and then changing the car was a great idea, too. I thought that was, because after a while you're like, you're right. This is where it happened. I don't want to say too much because, it happened. This is where it happened.
I told you how I changed it.
Yeah.
It's for the better. It's for the better.
No, and it's perfect. I think it's actually
and it's based
perfect.
on an old movie from the 40s, which I love.
Well, talk about 40s for the movie. Remember you were doing a short film, I don't know, or an actual film, that it was young Chicanos in in World War II. Remember that? You gave me the...
Yes. That's the Hero Street Project.
Yeah.
The Hero Street Project.
Yeah, I had told my kids about it because, my kids are in their 20s.
Oh, it's such a great story. I just got back from there, by the way, from Iowa.
Okay.
Where the story takes place. It takes place in Silvis, Illinois, but it's right there in what they call the Quad Cities.
Right.
Davenport, Iowa, Silvis, Illinois, Indiana. It all juts up against each other right there.
Right. Are you still working on that? Or
that's one of those things that's like on my bucket list, But
that was good. I think
it would be more of a Netflix thing now because the story's just too big to tell in 2 hours.
Right.
There's too much, and it went over decades.
Right.
But now is the time to do it because, man, like you were saying earlier, Jim, there's so much talent out there now. I've never seen the explosion of talent.
Well, it's you can
music, acting, producing, writing, directing, showrunners. It's just amazing.
And these kids are getting famous off YouTubes and TikToks and Instagrams.
They've got so much power. Yes. Social media has given them so much power.
Right. Where they don't need.
I didn't have that. I was dependent on other people and going out and auditioning. Nobody auditions now. People just look at their social media. Casting directors look at social media.
Like, oh my God, this guy's got 10 million followers.
Not even that. They say, oh my God, this guy's got charisma.
Right.
They can see it right there.
Right.
They're already watching their audition on video.
That's right. Yeah.
So
it's made so much easier.
Instant.
Even the breakups and
all of
that's
it.
Crazy. I don't even know how I would going through that at a young age. Being dating some chick and then you break up with her and then the next day she's with somebody else on her Instagram taking pictures with them like
it never happened.
And all your pictures are deleted
you're gone.
You're gone from one day to another.
You're just a deletion away.
Right on. Well, but life goes on, man. Life goes on, and
it certainly does. It's been great having this conversation. I really enjoyed it.
No, definitely having Jim here as well.
He's a walking encyclopedia.
He is. No, there's so much he has. He has a lot of history behind him.
You have to glean the information from him now before Alzheimer's sets in and he won't remember any of it.
Right. I mean, cruising back in the 70s, going to Alum Rock and all those areas, right? Because I was young at the time. I wasn't even thinking about, I remember Grease, the movie Grease, when it first came out. I was just a little mocoso. My cousins took me out to go see that movie. And
came out in 78.
Yeah, I was was born in 72, so I was what? 6 years old. And I still got my derby jacket. I have a little derby jacket to this day that they bought for me in Montgomery Wards.
A little Grease derby jacket?
Little derby jackets, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, like in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that, and I had Ben Davis. They made Ben Davis, real small Ben Davis. They didn't make Dickies, but they made Ben Davis. And then they used to buy our winos at Kmart for like $5, $2,
Wow.
you know? So and then we had to show your socks, right? You know, we weren't wearing baggies, but it was like a thing to, when you were dressed up, you know, you had to show your white socks somehow. Your socks were showing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, those were some days, man.
I always wondered, maybe you guys could tell me how Ben Davis got to be called Ben Davis. When I first saw it, I saw the little monkey.
Okay.
I thought, well, is that the monkey's name, Ben Davis? Or
no, so let me tell you. I know a little history about Ben Davis and Levi's.
Is that somebody's name, Ben Davis?
So Ben Davis. So Davis is the last name of Ben Davis. So, but Davis was also the last name of the person or the man that created the rivets for Levi's. You know, and I want to say there were, oh my God, I forgot they were Italians, I think, or they came they came from Europe, where money didn't care about money. He didn't care about money, because we wrote a story about him, and he didn't care anything.
You're talking about Levi Strauss?
Levi Strauss. So Levi Strauss was Jewish, but the guy that actually created the rivets, I think, was Italian or something.
Okay.
So he was out here during the gold rush, and Levi's was making their pants, but the Levi's kept ripping. So this guy, he was a blacksmith. So he was making the horse, you know, the actual the seats for the horses, and he was riveting on, you know, all this material, and he knew it wouldn't rip. So he had this idea, and he went to Levi and said, "Hey," he goes, "I got this idea." You know, he started doing some pants and giving it to the miners. They were putting their tools in their pockets, and they weren't tearing. They're like, "Oh shit, it's really working." So then Levi said, "Okay, let me. I'm gonna patent it. I'm gonna patent it, and then I'm gonna pay you." But he goes, "No, I don't want to get paid. I want material." That's how he was getting paid off material. Because back then, money for them was nothing, because there wasn't stores. Where can you go to a store in the 1800s, right? So I didn't want money. I wanted, you know, the patent was for that. So then I guess they were doing trades where I think the patent at the time would last about 10 years and then disappear. So he just ended up taking off. But he left a lot of family here. He got old and he left his family here. So Ben Davis, from my understanding, is the great, he's the grandson of him, of the guy that actually created the rivets for Levi's. Okay. So that when he started Ben Davis, that was in the 30s. So in the 30s, when you created an actual brand, it was very popular to have an actual icon of something. Like Dickies had the horseshoe.
Yeah.
How do you make it tougher? So that's how the gorilla came out. Ben Davis came out with the gorilla because it was as tough as a gorilla.
That's right. It was a gorilla, not a monkey.
And then if you see the Ben Davis, they also have rivets.
Yes.
So those are the that's what his great grandfather left.
I like the diagonal pocket cut.
Yeah.
I always thought that was easier access for your hand when you're putting your hand in your pocket.
Right. And I think they're out of Northern California. Well, Ben Davis was out of Northern California.
Yeah.
And I believe they were in Stockton at one time. Now they're in Petaluma, and I have no idea who they're at now. But I know they started creating like a skater type of wear, you know. But then again, the skaters always kind of copied the Chicano culture, how they dress from Pendletons.
Well, if they started in the 1930s, imagine pretty soon they're going to be 100 years old.
I think they're over 100 years old already, right? No, it's 30. Well, no, you're right. The 30s. That's right. Yeah. They will be 100 years old.
They're coming on there.
But they got so much money that they create only a certain amount of pants. That's it. They don't want to go beyond that. Same like Pendleton. Pendleton the same way. Pendleton only does 100,000 Pendletons. That's it. If they sell out, they sell out. Next year, another 100,000. They're not going to create more than they want to. And the demand is there, but they're like, nah, we're just going to create this, and that's what you're going to get, you know.
Well, it's an iconic. Yeah. It's an iconic company.
And instead of them actually, how can I say, making more. They're just pricing up higher. We're not going to make 10 more or 100 more pieces. We're going to make up for it and just raise the price on it.
Raise the price.
And that's what they've been doing. Shit, they're what, like $180 now? Shit, I was buying them for $30 that I can remember. $30, now they're $180. But right on, man. Well, we're good.
We're good.
Right on. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Danny.
Words,
Any closing words, Jim? You want to?
No, just take a look at Danny's portfolio. Most people just know American Me and Boulevard Nights, but how many films have you actually done?
I think I've done about 37 or something like that.
Yeah,
I did a good Western with Willie Nelson. I love it. It's called Barbarossa.
Yep.
They've shown about 7 of my films on.
Do you have a website?
Turner Classic Movies. Yeah.
You have a website? Do you have all your movies on there?
No, I don't list any of my movies on my website.
Shit.
I just have a little thing that says about me on there.
Well, you should. You should because you're gonna have people that are diehard Danny fans.
Yeah, I should change it up.
And they want to check out what you've done, all your work. From the terrible to the great to the impossible.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Some of the sucky movies that I made, there's people that love those movies.
Right.
I get messages from them on TikTok and Facebook. Man, I love this movie such and such. I'm like, damn, how did you even see that movie?
And they probably trip out when they see it.
it.
Like, shit. Was that Danny right there? What the hell?
People are so into movies that they actually make an effort to go out and find everything you've done and collect it somehow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's Danny diehards out there. There's a lot of people out there, and they would like to see all your work. Right now, when it's only 36? Mm-hmm. 36. I didn't even know that. I thought it was like 3 or 4.
37 films, yeah.
Wow.
And the last movie you did was...
I think, the last film...
Where you played the father.
I have a new movie that's coming out that I made 17 years ago. I never talk about stuff. I don't know why. I should bring things up. But I made this movie 17 years ago, and it never got finished. And recently, they just finished it. So now they're taking it around to film festivals, and next year it's probably going to be on a platform somewhere. It's called Moe, M-O-E. So you can imagine my surprise when they came to where I'm living now, San Antonio, Texas, and they brought it to the film festival there and showed it, and everybody loved it.
Right.
And I was like, wow, here you are watching yourself almost 20 years earlier.
Right. But you're even loving it like, yeah.
No, because I forgot all about it. I completely forgot all about that movie.
Because we went to a viewing of a show that you guys had.
Did you go see The Brown Hat, The Last Angry Brown Hat?
Where you played the father or uncle? You were like in a garage. Like, damn, it's...
Oh, that's Kill Capone.
Kill Capone. That's I went to go see that.
In the wheelchair.
Yeah. I went to go see that. You invited us to go out there. I took John, Big John.
I think we had a screening of it up here somewhere.
No, I went to Whittier. I think it was in Whittier.
Was it down there? Okay.
We went to Whittier. It was me, John. I took my wife with me. It was kind of cool, man. Went to go check it out, and it was a trip, man.
That was the same filmmaker that wrote The Last Angry Brown Hat, that play that I've been doing for years. Right. And he also wrote Road Dogs, which we did for HBO. Okay. Alfredo Ramos, he wrote and directed that. Right. And that was his piece.
Right on. Yeah, no, that was cool.
But this is what, the 45th year of Boulevard Nights?
Yeah, this is the 45th anniversary.
So
yeah.
I've contacted some other people out here to do a screening for Boulevard Nights. It'd be great to do it in the images now. I don't know if you could do a Blu-ray projection of it.
You can't project the Blu-ray because it'll only go so big, but you can get what they call a DCP, a digital cinema, whatever it is.
And do one here with him narrating the whole story of Boulevard Nights. We went to one at Sonoma State, but it went so long, it just kind of...
It was more of an intellectual thing. They had a conversation afterwards, but they got very heady, and it got a little bit too intellectual.
Well, I mean, we got the Mexican heritage, and and that's where they've done. That's where I went to go see some of these short films that they were doing. That's where I saw "Slipping in the Darkness," which was I thought it was a cool name for it, and just
which reminds me, you got to watch American Homeboy. It's on Apple TV.
American Homeboy.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
It's on Prime Video now too.
No. I seen it. They had a viewing in San Francisco went to go check it out. And matter of fact, there was some of the actors there.
It's not about lowriding. It's about Chicano culture.
Yeah, it's about Chicano. And matter of fact, there was a guy from Los Angeles came out to speak, and some of the guys are from San Francisco that were actually born in Los Angeles, raised in San Francisco, and they're part of the documentary. Okay. And I've seen it. I saw that one. That was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good too. Very informative.
No, definitely.
But we do need more video, more people putting these kind of documentaries out. Just short films about history.
Right. That's why it was really important for me to get you guys in here, because there's probably more. We could sit here probably for 20 hours and talk about all kinds of stuff.
But I have to go to the bathroom, so we need to wrap this up. My bladder ain't what it used to be.
But you continue the series and talk. It's a start.
Right. No, that's why this is our fifth show, that we're putting together. And you can come back, anytime you come down, if you have something different, new and everything, just,
I like the fact that it's just a free-flowing thing. Because sometimes if you do a lot of podcasts, you're talking about yourself, and it's like the same old story, it's like,
right.
I put myself to sleep. I really do. It's like, oh, Lord.
And you never finish a conversation. This guy and I have been talking.
Oh, I know.
He's done so many appearances at Time Warp, and then we never finish the conversation.
We never, not one conversation that we start ever gets finished.
We start talking, and then somebody walks up, and then what were we talking about?
And then there's people that they're just get him cornered, and they'll
so that's what they say. If you guys forget, it's because you're lying to each other.
Yeah, that's right. You nailed it.
Well,
you hit the nail on the head.
You get older and you forget about it.
Hey, that's what happens to me. I forget names. I can look at you and say.
Yeah, but then 30 minutes later, it comes up on the screen, right? But not when you wanted it.
Right. Yeah. I had two friends in here. Well, Troubles was one of them. Troubles walks in, and I have this guy named Armando, a friend of mine here, and I'm looking at him. This is. I was like tripping.
When you go introduce people and that happens, that is so embarrassing.
But I'm looking at both of them, they're like, oh, fuck.
And drawing a complete blank.
You then, man, you don't remember me, you asshole. But I'm like, fuck. I just had you. I was just talking to you, but it was funny. I've done that
so many times.
I know. People, I try to remember names. It's just hard. You run into so many people.
I'm great with faces.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like Jesse Borrego. He's good at bullshitting.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, what's up? Like,
but who am I?
I know you.
He doesn't remember who the hell you are.
Right on, man.
But they ask you, you remember me? I remember the face. I just don't remember.
Me too. I'll remember the face. I will.
Right.
And
I've
what's
seen a face, I'll remember.
Strange is when you see people that you haven't seen in 20 years, when they were about 3, 4, 5 years old, coming with their dad to the store, and then they still kind of got those features.
Right.
But they remember you. Right. I got kids. They're not kids. They're grown men now. When I was coaching football, coming in, and, hey, coach, what's happening? I said, remember me, Coyote Wildcats? You were our coach. Right. Oh, okay. I remember.
Right. Like me, 26 years of doing this, and all the little kids that grew up watching our magazine. It's kind of crazy.
It is. It's amazing when you think about it. Well, thank you, sir.
Right on. Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for being parts. Yeah, give me your social media so people.
Oh, I'm on Instagram at Big Puppet, one word. And my website is DDLP, like my initials, Danny De La Paz, DDLP merch at .com.
And then you're in Houston.
I'm in
your
San Antonio.
San Antonio, your shops.
At the Traders Village in San Antonio.
And you got is there a address or?
That's a space number 334.
There you go. And then we got Jim. Jim has a radio station, man, that plays good music, oldies.
KKUP.
That's right. That keeps the oldies alive, man. Like I said, I was talking to JJ. There's not too many people out there that keeps these oldies alive, man. And people should be grateful.
They do marathons. They do awesome marathons.
Yeah. And now people get to see the face behind the radio too.
And then they get scared.
They get scared. Like, do they make a mask like that? I want to wear one.
JJ and I were talking a little bit last night, and JJ's another one we don't get that many conversations together because somebody comes along. You've probably experienced it, Gilbert, when you're talking out in shows. you got 2 minutes with somebody and then they're off. Somebody comes up. But JJ was talking about it, and he goes, "Hey, I've been giving you a lot of props. You know, I owe a lot to you about music, and you know, I did his 30-year reunion, 30th anniversary thing, and I incorporated it with a lot of DJs that were around the area at the same time, and we had a pretty successful event. I remember Paulie even walking up to me after it and saying, "Man, I didn't expect this to be this great. You know, it was a great turnout, a great show. We couldn't get people in the building, but it was, you know, he talks about now he's in his 45th year, and he's telling me, you know, I always talk about how much you meant with music and the music that I play, that you sell, and you gave me music to play, and now with the Soldies coming along." It's like we're reliving that sound of you had Los Yesterdays there yesterday. And it's funny because Bad Vic saw Trenier go up and he goes, "I've always known the music.
Just never saw the face.
But I didn't know who it was."
Me too.
And the years that have changed, you know.
She was 60 years old. Do you see that?
Yeah.
She looks good for 60.
Great. She's got energy.
I didn't get a chance to talk to her because I had her when Radio Aslan was at San Jose State. We were doing freestyle in the South Bay before Wild, before 97.7, all the stations. That's how I ended up hooking back up with Javier the X-Man, because he said, "You guys have taken over. You're doing car shows." We were invited to car shows at Radio Aslan, not Wild, not 97, because we were the station that represented the soundtrack for the lowrider scene. As people were cruising on Friday nights, Radio Aslan was the soundtrack everybody was listening to.
Trenier was huge in L.A.
Oh yeah,
huge.
Well, you know, she was huge in on the West Side, and they were actually from like New York, Miami. A lot of these high energy singers, like what's his name, Mark Anthony, high energy. He was into high energy before he became Latin star. You know, he was actual high energy
Latin crooner.
Right. All these guys came out of New York, and in New York they were okay. They were doing their thing, but they were huge on the West Coast. Anything to do on the West Coast, and they even said it, because I've talked to a lot of them. They're like, "Oh, we're big," and still to this day, the West Coast loves us. You know, L.A., Northern California. It's just they love us out here. Anywhere else they'll do okay, but when it comes to them coming out here, people love them.
In India was big in freestyle before she went into salsa. Now she's the new queen of salsa since Celia Cruz passed on. But yeah, it was a lot of history, and that's something I'm trying to, on the back burner. I'm trying to gather information on that station because it was important. And I talked to Damian Trujillo about it, and Javier and David Ocampo, of doing a documentary on Radio Aslan, because it was important for the Bay Area here in Northern California, because it was the power station of the South Bay. And a lot of stations told me they wanted San Jose market. That's why Hot 97.7 was here. And a lot of these stations have moved south trying to broadcast to get the San Jose market, because this is the biggest area of the Bay Area, not San Francisco. This is the town everybody can make or break stations. But now radio's gotten kind of different now. It's not getting the advertisements, a lot of pre-recorded information, you know, music that's programmed out of, you know, Chicago, and you're told what to play.
Right. Yeah, it's bad.
It is. That's why I like
a voice like that, like Tim's voice. How could you not be in radio?
No, and that's.
I don't see myself that way.
No, I think you have an amazing voice for radio.
And that's the thing, is that we need personality. You know, these other radio stations don't got personality anymore.
No, because it's recorded.
Right.
And you're programmed. And that's Javier and I always talk. In fact, he just called me to ask me about your show. I got to call him back. But he had Los Alacranas on his show a couple of weeks ago, which I was floored that major station would let him bring them in to talk about their 50th anniversary of Chicano Park. And when they made that music, Chunky's passed, but The band is still there. That'd be a good one for you to bring to a car show, that group. Those guys are old timers, but they still have that sound and the storytelling in the music. That's our folk music. Right. That tells the stories of the Chicano movement, the struggles in the going back to the mid-'60s all the way up to the Chicano moratorium.
Maybe that's what we need to do, is just get a lot of us together to try to produce some movies like this.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what Chicano Hollywood is all about. That's what you're saying right now.
Get us all together, because we all have an eye for something. And we all have a value for something.
Yep.
And not get greedy, because it's not about being greedy or getting them. It's about getting the message out and creating these films for our future generation to kind of look forward to, understanding, because we're watching other movies and I think that, how this guy made it, you're like, well, I can never make it like that because I'm not that type of person. I'm not that color, or I'm not that. That's not my gender. That's not how I grew up. I grew up like this. Because I grew up like this, can we actually make it to that point? And if you think about it, why don't we own buildings? How hard is it to own a building or a skyscraper, or to us? I mean, we could do it too. I want a quick little story. Yesterday, or day for yesterday, I got 2 rooms for my judges here in San Jose, downtown San Jose. When I went to go pay for it, there's another hotel, like right there. It's at the fairgrounds. There's one hotel and there's another one, and they're sharing the same parking lot. And I told the lady, I go, what, do they share the parking lot? She goes, oh, it's the same owner. I said, well, that's a Holiday Inn and this is just like a stay away. I'm like, he goes, oh yeah, he's rich. He goes, these people are rich. I go, and they're from India. He goes, but you should, and she was a Chinese lady. She goes, you should see how they get together. They're not greedy. They like to party, have fun, and help each other build each other.
There you go.
And as these guys are building each other, they're not taking each other's competition. They're not going to say, okay, you have San Jose. I'm going to take San Jose next to you. No. Can you help me build one in Missouri?
They're elevating each other.
And they're going to Missouri. She goes, and you would trip out. They're building hotels and places, and they're helping them because they're like, okay, I'll help you. And then, you continue and you help another. And then when they have parties, because it's crazy. It's not a greed. There's no greed in what they do.
As long as you're comfortable, right? You don't have to have the best of everything. As long as you got a place to lay your head at night, eat your dinner, you don't need to have all that. And the people, I recently thinking about, and this is not a good subject, but we've talked about getting too old and death, and people die and leave it all behind. And
that's right.
And then the people are overwhelmed with all what they have left, that they don't know what to do with all the money.
What to get rid of. And I'm a hoarder here.
All of us, though, we all, I've got so much stuff I've saved up over the years, archival stuff. It's like, I don't know what to do with it all.
I started letting go of a lot of stuff I have. People, why are you letting it go? I said, let somebody else enjoy it. I don't want to, all my vinyl pretty much is gone. I've let a lot of it go. But then I still collect it. I like to. To me, it's treasure to see an album by El Chicano, Viva Tirado, in perfect condition.
Right. So you let one go and pick up 5 more.
Yeah.
Right?
But I get a lot of customers that are looking for stuff that are my age or something. They don't want to go looking for it. I'll tell them, I'll find you a clean copy. But, I'm going to take something off the top because I'm doing the research to find it.
Right.
And I find some good stuff on the East Coast, sometimes out of Britain. Things that come out of there that people are letting go because it doesn't matter to them.
They're big collectors out there.
Japan, huge collectors.
A great brand, I think I know, because when I buy, sometimes I'll buy an album I want, and it comes from Great Britain, and they're 45s or they're like Muddy Water. I got this 45 of Muddy Water, and I was like, this is dope, and it came from the UK, and I was like, it was a trip. I was like checking it out, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. It came from the UK, but they have a lot of other ones that come from the UK that do things. They reproduce the albums. They'll buy the original, take them to the UK and reproduce
the cover,
almost identical. But then, because I got some, I'm like, oh shit, this is the original. I'm looking, I'm like, printed in 2020. Like, what the hell? Like,
well, that's big, and it's easier to license in the UK and in Japan,
right?
Because when I released Sapo on CD in 1999,
that's a good album.
Japan put it out.
Sapo.
Japan put it out, but Arista contacted me and Harry Fox. At that time, Richard G was my partner, and we released it. And they said if we were okay with it. And I said, yeah, well, we only licensed it for the U.S. We didn't know about international licensing. Right. But Japan used the same text that we put in there, just translated it to Japanese. And I'm now having fun trying to find groups that were overlooked, that were out at the same time as Sapo, but forgotten about. You know?
Well, there was, I don't know, do you remember a record label by the name of Aslan Records? Remember Aslan Records? They're out of San Francisco.
Yes.
Remember that?
That was like in
Happy. It was a guy named Happy
in the 80s, maybe 90s.
No. They did an album for me called Latin Groove, and we did we took the picture. They used our picture. They used Streetlow on it, and they wanted to create like an actual Thump Records at the time, and they were called Aslan Records. They went under because when we put the album together, there was a song release called Suavecito, but it was mixed with hip hop, and it was a badass song.
Who was the artist?
It was Richard Bean. It was a Richard Bean song.
No, but who sang it?
That I have no idea. I don't remember. But they released. So he went and pressed all these albums because he was putting all his. I want to say at the time he was putting all his money on us to create this album and to create this record label. But it was this guy named Happy. And actually, I spoke to him a couple of years ago about, during the pandemic, I had spoken to him because he found me. He's like, man, I got to talk to you. He tripped out because he saw me still pushing the whole Streetlow thing. He goes, oh, you're still doing shows? And he did other things. He very successful guy, man. He's the one that actually introduced me to the guy from, the director for, oh my God, sorry, man. Just all
that's a good prevalence.
Right.
What's that memory thing? Prevalence commercial.
Yeah. No, from Survivor. He's the one that connected me.
Okay.
So he's good friends with the guy that he goes, and I'm gonna tell you, this guy doesn't talk to anybody. But Happy created this album. It was a Latin groove. It was like a ska type music, but at the same time, he had added Yeska on it. He had all these different groups. He goes, I'm gonna create this album. It's gonna be a little booklet, and in the booklet we're gonna put everybody's album, and talk a little bit about who they are and stuff like that. So, that'd be good. That'd be great. So he did it, but when he did it, they had him pressed. Richard Bean had called him, I guess, and told him, no, take that song off. I'm not giving you permission to do it. So when that happened, they had already pressed like, I want to say 4,000, 5,000. And they were upset. Him, and I guess he was connected with the lawyer that was putting out the money. And back then, I mean, this is 1998. So 1998, I mean, I don't know how much money they were spending, but I mean, if you're spending $2,000, it was really a lot of money. So he was just like, yeah, we have to. He had sent me two CDs. He goes, hey, do me a favor, don't sell them, don't do so. I don't know where I have them. I have them somewhere. But he says, don't sell them. We can't sell them because of that song. He's going to sue us, so we had to pull them all out. We're going to destroy them. I said, what? You're going to destroy all them CDs? He goes, we have to destroy them. But somehow, some way, I've seen them in the black market. Funny as it is, but I see them being sold on Amazon. I'm like, wait a minute, that's our album. That's the album he put out. But Richard Bean pulled the plug on him and ruined that CD. But
well, Richard Bean, when he found out we released Sapo, he had a manager. They tried to sue me and Richard for that album. He threatened lawsuit, and I said, go ahead. We have papers, but I'd rather work with you than fight with you. Right. So I started connecting him with the CDs to sell them at his performance, because Richard wasn't even doing any music back then. He was working in his brother's silk screening shop. And the reason I ran into Richard Bean was when I was at San Jose State. I had, remember the Hispanic All-Stars rap group? They were the Hispanics. They were out of East Bay with Funky Aztecs.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And they came into the studio, and I seen Richard standing in the back, and I said, aren't you Richard Bean? We start talking. I go, man, I've been looking for you. I'm in the process of releasing your CD. And he said, what? How? Arista. And then his manager started getting a little aggressive. Well, how'd you do that? I said, we paid Harry Fox. Harry Fox is where you go to get your permission to use they pay him the royalties, because I think it was Ojo and Publishing. Right. And then Arista owns the rights to the physical recordings, and we released it. But I actually we became friends. I let him write, in the CD, you see his thing in there where he talks about it.
The liner notes.
And it brought him back out. And I got Gary Baca and Chewy from San Mateo, who's still doing radio, to do liner notes in there and put them on there. And it came out. But the distribution is what killed us, trying to get that thing out there. It's so difficult. And that's how we learn the hard way. When I tell people, like I tell these new artists, get your stuff out there before the bootleggers get a hold of it, because they'll bootleg it and get it out there.
But you got to register it, get it registered and get it going. Because anytime, what I've seen on Instagram or TikTok or anything, as soon as you play someone's music, boom, they block it.
Yeah.
And if you get permission, boom, they gain the money. You're not getting nothing. You can put all the visual you want on it. Mm-hmm. If it's their music, they're getting all the money.
Well,
right,
we went through that with artists and distribution. We lost our butt off on the Happy's Party mixes that we started putting out in the 90s, and then a place in Texas went Chapter 11 on us with all our product, owing us all that money, and we didn't see anything on it. And I seen it in catalogs. Wait a minute, that's our CD.
Oh yeah.
But they bought it through the bankruptcy settlements, so we couldn't do anything about it. We lost, but I learned a lesson on that, and I tell people, get it out there as fast as you can, because bootleggers will get a hold of it. Now, it's not happening as much. Everybody's putting stuff on memory sticks, and it's not a big deal anymore. But
because the money you're making, the money really is on
the vinyl.
Not only the vinyl, people viewing it through the phone.
Yeah.
Anytime it's being played right away, you're getting paid. So, I mean, even if they listen, I want to say they say 5 seconds, 6 seconds, boom, you're getting some kind of money off of it.
I just heard Brentonwood on a commercial this morning. I said, Brentonwood's probably smiling, getting some money in his pocket right now for that. Yeah. They're playing Oogum Boogum on a commercial.
Well, he went through a lawsuit. You guys know about that, right?
Yeah.
Regarding that commercial?
No. His music rights.
His royalties.
He's gained a lot of money. And I want to say about $7-8 million, if not maybe less or maybe more. But he went through a lawsuit and he won, and now he's getting paid every month or every 2 months. That's why he's not doing that many shows. But then again, he's already, I think, 83 years old, 84 years old. So
God bless him, man. He's been out there forever.
Yeah. And he gave us a lot of props. Like I've talked to him a couple of times, and he's like, if it wasn't for you Chicanos, man, he goes.
Oh, he's always said that.
He goes, my music wouldn't have been where it's at. He goes, you guys kept me alive. And still, I mean, I want to say 2 years ago when I had him here, he sold out Salinas for me, and he sold out Woodland. Like completely sold out. Like the tickets online, I only put a couple of tickets.
There was a show recently he was supposed to be at, and he wasn't able to make it, I think.
Right.
And man, people were so pissed about that. We're so disappointed. All these youngsters, I just thought, wow, it's amazing that this guy has that kind of pull. They just love him.
The Woodland show, I was getting people calling me, hey, my kids want to go see him. I go, their kids, their age 9 and 12. I'm like, what? 9 and 12.
That's what blew me away.
And it's the parents actually listening to the music and the kids getting that beat
and passing it down.
And his music has always been catchy. It was always been catchy as hell.
And that's what you brought yesterday. There was a couple people I talked to that brought their kids to see Los Yesterdays. Because they couldn't go to the Ritz when they had them there 2 years ago.
Correct. Because of the age group. Because of the age.
See, and that's when I do the shows. That's what I like to do. I like to bring people you can't see, because a lot of these musicians are playing in 21 and over clubs.
Yeah.
So now you get to see them at a car show where it's more open to everybody, and and the kids are 8 and under are free. So it's kind of like they get to see them for free, and at the same time enjoy the cars, enjoy actors, and enjoy everybody out there. It's kind of fun.
I had a great time yesterday. I really enjoyed it. People were really kind. And
Right on. That's what's up.
yeah, they showed a lot of love. And
Right on.
so, all that thing people talking about the North and the South and all that bullshit.
No.
I don't ever feel any of it. None of it at all. They know I'm from L.A.
Right.
I'm wearing my blue shirt, supporting the Dodgers, right? Because they're in the World Series.
That's right.
Nobody's fucking giving me a hard time about it. So
You got to give it up to the Dodgers, too, for being in the World Series,
Yeah,
man. You
heck
got to
yeah.
give it up to those guys, man. That's,
heck yeah.
part of California, representing Cali, man. I mean, I am a Niner fan. Don't get mad at us or at me. I'm a Niner fan, and I'm also.
I've been at Dodger Stadium since the '60s when I was a kid. I used to see Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale play there, and
Nice.
all these legendary names from the past.
Sure.
I didn't know they were legends at the time. I was just a kid, but
Right.
looking back now, it's amazing to think that you were there at the same time they were there. It's
Right. Well, that's what people think about you.
yeah, I guess
You're a legend too, man.
They bring me pictures of them when they were kids, and now they're bringing me their kids to show me the picture of when they were kids.
You're like, get away from me! Don't show me that.
Get back!
Right on, man. Well, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed yourselves at the show, man. And like I said, next year is going to be a little bit different. We're getting our date back. Thank God. And
So you didn't have the date this year?
no, there was some problems going on,
right.
and so
Because I was sitting there thinking,
keep
what
pushing.
the hell are we doing here in October? It's cold.
yes, and to the
It's
truth,
cold and I'm old.
I wasn't gonna do it, but I got so many supporters. There's so many fans and family of mine that come out, and not only that, I think to do it for Paulie too, because Paulie was one of our writers, and he's also our, music historian that wrote for us too, and he was a brother to me too. And I'm gonna tell you, every time he came to visit me at the flea market, come chill with us, he'd go to Jim. I'm like, where you going? Oh, I'm going to Jim. Oh, you traitor. I don't go see Jim. Jim got this and that for me and this and that. I go, damn, 45s. And
Jim's got the goodies.
Yeah,
Jim's got the goodies.
Yeah, just come kick it with me. But, it was very important for me to put out that show and bring their family out and bring his car out at the same time. And, and even the plaques that we gave out had his car on it.
Oh,
it was
nice.
a actually beautiful drawing. We had some shirts being made. They weren't made on time. I'm still going to get them made. We're, thanks to the Dodgers, they would put us back because we're getting printed in Los Angeles, and the company that's actually printing our shirts it's a really nice company, and they're printing out Dodgers World Series shirts like crazy.
Well,
so
can you imagine? I mean, please.
I'm not gonna hate on that. I mean, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to get the shirt done, and once I get the shirts, I'm gonna put them out. See if anybody, it's gonna be a week later, but they're really nice T-shirts, and it has the arch and it has Paulie's car on there and everything. Just it was something special for him. So that was the reason why I had to do the show. I was thinking about I'm just gonna do it next year, but. Nah, I got to do it. I have to do it, and whatever the outcome is, I'm going to do it. And like I said, it took us 2 weeks to promote it. We had the date in the month, and we had 2 weeks to promote it, heavy, and it just the people that came out, with their heart.
Well, I wanted to thank you too for that beautiful version of the poster that. Tyrone did for you.
Yes.
Where he incorporated a younger image of me and an older image of me. It was so simple, but
right.
I just thought it was beautiful.
Did you get some of them? Did you get any?
No, I need to hit you up for some of those now.
Oh, shoot.
I'm going to sell them for $20 a shot.
What's his name? Took a bunch of them. I told him to take them to you.
Yeah, but he wanted me to sign them and give them back.
No, I told him to give them to you.
No, he said, these are for Streetlow. Can you please sign them?
Berto, I told you to give me one sign and give the rest to Danny.
No, I
what the hell?
I did what I was instructed to do.
Oh,
busted!
Yes,
that's okay. No, I'll get you some. You gotta
I
give
gave
me
them to your son. He's got them.
You got them. Okay. Well, you're gonna be around here for a while still, or are you gonna stay around
just
this
for
time?
maybe a day or two. I'm trying to get my situation straightened out with my lost cell phone that I lost on Thursday when I flew out.
Are you staying
at the airport?
Are you staying at our friend's house?
No, I don't know where I'm staying right now. It's a mystery.
He got an extension.
Any fans out there with an extra bedroom, hit me up on Instagram.
Did you have weren't you going to stay at one of our friends' house?
No, I'm not going to stay at one of your friends' house. Okay.
He got an extension. He got an extension this morning.
You got an extension this morning?
Ron Rodriguez gave him an extension.
Nice.
Yes,
nice.
so I'm extended for a couple more nights.
Right on. Okay, so let me. I'll get you some posters. I'll see what my son did with the posters.
They're really nice. I'm gonna get one frame for my place.
No, definitely they're nice. You know, there's that picture I got from you down here. I had it framed.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, the double image one.
And then the one over here, it's on the.
I look at your place. It's like a warning of what could happen if I'm not careful with my place. Oh
this is nothing.
This is just incredible.
If you go to my house, not my house.
I feel like that scene in Star Wars where the walls are closing in on them. You know, and Chewbacca's like.
That's what it is.
It's like, oh my God, I'm shrinking.
No, there's a little bit of a history of everybody's stuff. I got that Sonny Madrid.
There's stuff in that cabinet you haven't seen in 15 years. I know you haven't been in there. Come on.
No, I keep adding to it. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Historical. That's historical right there. You remember? You know what that building is?
What is that building right there? Is that the theater?
That's the only where the boxing was going on back in the days. They used to be on there on channel 11.
Golden Gloves.
Right? Oh, here in San Jose?
No, Los Angeles.
That's Olympic.
Yeah.
It's Los Angeles.
Wow.
That picture, Sonny Madrid gave it to me.
Yeah.
Sonny Madrid would give me all kinds of stuff. He would actually.
What are all these bombs doing in front of it?
That's Sonny's.
That was a parade.
Cinco de Mayo parade.
Wow, that's crazy.
And Sonny would go out there.
That must be like the 70s or something. That's got to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because Sonny's son, Mario, was out there selling some of the prints and stuff. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, he was there yesterday. I saw
He was selling some prints. And
it's good to see him.
That's some of the prints that Sonny used to sell. That was a board that he would just put up to sell the print. And then one day, he'd always go to my house as well as he would go to your house and drop off things and take off and then come back, pick them up. And then maybe like a month later, hey, I left that bag at your house. Oh, yeah. And he gave me that. You see that? That's Cesar Chavez with a cigarette and a zoot.
Yes.
So I guess he had an original picture, huh?
You know, that's what I need. Mm-hmm. I need that list of houses that Sonny used to stay at. Because maybe I could hit those people up and just carry on the tradition, you know?
There you go.
He stayed most of the time at his sister's house.
Or his son. He would stay with Mario.
Oh, he stayed all over the place. I've talked to many people that have hosted Sonny.
Oh, he stood at my house.
I need to get on that circuit. Sonny,
stood at my
wherever
house.
you are, turn me on.
Oh, good.
Another thing to do is I told this guy we should organize a tour of Boulevard Nights film locations with him narrating it.
I do take people on the tour when they come from Japan or Australia.
Let's get a bus.
I do. I make them drive me. You know, they drive. And all I ask them to do is buy me lunch, right? So we do a morning session. Then we have lunch at a beautiful restaurant in East LA. And then we have the afternoon session and we wrap it up. But they love it. They take pictures in front of the house from Boulevard Nights, or I take them to where, Mi Vida Loca was shot in Echo Park. And, all these iconic, the Pino from Blood In, Blood Out.
Nice.
People love it. They absolutely love it.
Right now you're talking about all I want is their lunch and dinner. It reminds me of a friend of mine. He was always broke. When he'd have no food in his house, he would have, hey, I'm having a barbecue. What do you mean? Yeah, bring the meat. Hey, yeah, I'm having, and everybody would go to his house with food.
Just bring the meat, I'll cook it.
So one day I go to his house, and all he had was cereal. He had cereal and some cans and stuff. So I go to his house.
Cereal, but no milk.
No milk. He had all these people at his house. And Gilbert, look, he opens his refrigerator. It's full of food, drinks. He goes, look at this. It's off the hook. He goes, they're barbecuing outside. He goes, I had no money for food. Look at me. I got food. The next morning I come. It was bodies laid everywhere. He's pissed as hell. He goes, they ate my cereal, bro. I had no milk. They ate my cereal. They even ate my cans. Look at, I got empty cans. He had no food.
Now he really has nothing.
He had nothing. And it just, oh my God, it was so funny to me. It was so fucking funny, man. I was like, I couldn't believe this dude, man. But what he would do it all the time. I'm having a potluck. I go, really? He goes, dude, I don't have. I
You
don't.
bring the pots, and I'll bring the luck.
Yeah, that's what.
Bring
And
the
I
pots
would-
full of
And he
food.
would do that all the time. But that time it was just so funny because I had walked in at night and he had all these people. He goes, "Do you want to stay?" I go, I gotta go. I just came to say what's up. But he was just, you got to see my kitchen. You got to see my food. And he opens up all these cabinets. He had
Big old
chips.
American fridge. Bam.
It was filled up. But the next day it was empty. Empty completely. It's like, bro, are you moving? I mean, that's how empty it was. Even the cans, they were all opened up.
Well, if company is staying the night, come on, they're going to get hungry again, all right? So
Right, but they
what do you
turn it.
expect?
Oh
No,
my
but your
God.
collection is very impressive. It really is. You have,
Right on, right on.
You have a nice collection.
And no, this is just the top of it. I got so much.
What I mentioned to you earlier about
many
those Boulevard Nights original posters not being available on eBay anymore, the
Right.
reason is because everybody's collecting now.
Right.
Ever since the internet,
Right.
collecting's just exploded.
Right.
You know, certain people used to do it, but
Right.
now everybody's doing
Right.
it. Funko Pops, whatever, you know.
Right. Anything to do with it. Anything
People
to do with
collect
art.
and they just get into it, and the next thing you know, the market just gets affected by the sheer numbers of them.
Right. It's like the little homies.
Yeah,
Those things blew up.
that's a
And then
cottage industry now.
there's Caesar. Caesar, the one that
Yep, Cesar Lozano.
he's the one that's actually have created to make them very collectible. And then Dave continued to draw and
Yes.
get them going. I got
Yes.
this is. Let me show you guys. Oh my God, it's a little collection here, right here. This is from the Series 3, and it's autographed by David,
Wow, that's nice.
which is pretty cool. Caesar hooked me up with this one.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So I'm always going over there and picking them up because it's just
Caesar's
to
a good
see
man.
us
Caesar
to-
and I used to go out and do shows all the time, and
right.
before he got involved with David.
right. No, he definitely he's a collector.
Yeah.
And only a collector can appreciate a
Yes.
collector. How collectors,
Yes.
whatever it is that you collect. Jim himself's a collector. You collect records. You can also collect a lot of Chicano memorabilia. I mean, because he has a lot of nice pictures. Santana pictures are dope.
Yes.
Stuff that he carries and stuff.
You always collect. That's why one of my friends told me instead of Time Warp, my store should be called Like Minded.
Like-minded.
Yeah, because people that come in there that collect the music collect the other things that you see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They like,
It's all tied in.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Most people collect movies too,
Right.
or they collect any kind of memorabilia.
Lowrider magazines.
I'm into collecting just anything to do with our people, and not saying that there's other races out there, but it just we never had it. We never had any of it growing up.
Like I know those beautiful Mexican movie posters you've got back there. Oh my God, those are so nice.
Yeah, those are original. I got a bunch of them too. I got
Those
more
are
at
so
home.
nice. It's amazing they're in the condition they're in.
Right. Tintan.
When you think about Tintan, look at that.
Yeah, these are movies. When I grew up, I collected this one because my dad was from Acapulco, so I grabbed that one right there. And this one, Tintan, was because he's very iconic.
He is
with
iconic.
the way he talks. His slang was way before our times. If you listen to a lot of the homeboys talking and hey, qué huele, qué onda, qué rollo, all that. He was saying
The
that.
calor. Yeah, he was into that calor back then.
in the
and
40s.
the zoot suits.
Yeah, in the 40s. I went to Mexico City with my family, and there was a mural of him. Not a mural, sorry, a statue of him in Mexico City because most of his movies were filmed in Mexico City. And, yeah, he's just very iconic, so that's why I collect just anything and everything. Like Zapata. I got Zapata right there. It's an original newspaper.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I have a collection of movie posters of all the movies that I've been in, but not from the United States. Wow. They're all from different countries.
Right.
And what I like about it is that sometimes in the U.S., they wouldn't put my name on the poster or my picture. But if you get the one from Belgium, there I am.
There you are.
My name and my picture.
Wow.
And it just surprised me. It's like how this would turn out, Japan, Finland, France, all these different countries put out these show your movies, but they want to put their own artwork on it. So they would switch it out for what they created,
But here they keep you out.
No, sometimes here, if you because you negotiate in your contract.
Okay.
If you get what they call paid ads, that's where your name is on the poster.
Right.
Sometimes they'd have my name on the poster. Sometimes I couldn't get my name on, but I would have my picture on.
Right.
I would always wind up either on the VHS or somehow they'd always have my picture. Even if I had just a small part, I don't know how it worked out, but I would always end up on the advertising for the for the movie. So that was kind of a good thing. But I like to collect movie posters though, because there's some beautiful artwork on them.
Right. Especially when they're really old, they start crumbling. So you gotta board them up real quick before they really get destroyed.
Gotta have them backed.
So I got like I have probably about close to about 10 of them. And I keep collecting them, but I kind of stopped collecting a lot of stuff.
I know, because what are you going to do with them? Where are you going to put them after a while?
Well, I can't no more. I got two. Even in my house, I have a little office in my home. I have a lot of collectible stuff in there. I got a lot of artwork that I've collected throughout the years from prisoners, man, that were sending stuff to our magazine, and I was actually putting them in the magazine. A lot of original pieces. I got tons of it. I had a friend of mine out of San Francisco. They just did an art gallery thing, and he goes, dude, can I borrow some of your pieces? I was like, yeah. He came here, he couldn't believe it. He's like, man, I had 2 boxes full of it. He goes, dude, I've never seen so much artwork in one box.
Wait till pickers find out about you.
Right. They're gonna
American pickers.
Right. And and I look at this artwork, to me, it's like, you got these Picassos, but these guys are in prison just chilling, drawing on a handkerchief or on a board and making the best they could with it. And I'm like, wow. And then I don't know, I think we're underpriced on a lot of what we do.
Underappreciated and
underpriced. And I've seen underpriced because even when you see handmade belts,
undervalued.
That's
what you mean,
undervalued.
Yeah.
You got Versace belts, 15,000 or 1,500, and then you have a handmade belt made by an Indian in the mountains. Handmade, takes them 2-3 months to make, and they're selling them for $50-$60. That's insane to me. That you give more value to a machine that you would to a person that's actually taking their time
and made in China.
Right. Yeah. Well, they grab everything, and if they see money behind it, they're there taking pictures of it and creating another time warp somewhere else, right?
Oh, they're all over the world.
They got time warps there, and I see that at the flea market, man. That's crazy. Yeah. You walk around, little cameras. Like, I'm like, is it the inspector? I go, I don't think so. Don't look at the inspector. Who is this lady?
The FBI? Who is that?
Right. And then a week, 2 weeks later, then the other side of the flea market, something the same stuff, but all pixelated. Like, wait a minute, that's my stuff, But that's the way it is. Yeah.
And I got friends that do that too. And I said, why don't you just buy the originals off it? Oh, it's all good.
Right,
man. Come on, man.
We're not live, are we?
Yeah.
We are?
No. We're not live. We're recording. You went to the bathroom, came back.
Yeah.
No, he'll cut.
You need something to be edited?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right.
He wants to say, I know what he wants to say, but he's not going to say it.
What does he want to say?
No.
Go ahead and say it.
I'm not going to say it. That's okay. It's all right.
What do you want to say?
No, don't trip. It's all good.
I'll let him tell you what.
Right on.
But it's my wife just says it's a form of flattery.
Right.
When they copy you, people know you're the trendsetter. You started it.
Right.
And you copy. And one thing I will say about the flea market, because we all deal out of there, is we try to respect each other's space.
Right.
The flavor you have. Why don't you sell it? They have it over there, or they have it over there.
Right.
I can't say the same for a lot of other places, but I do know within the community I'm in.
Right.
We try.
Well, I always try to push people your way, because I know sometimes I don't have something that I know you're carrying, and they're looking for it, especially music, because, that's another, that's another story. That's another, to do something like that, you got to have, I don't know, I think the history, the influence that you got in music. I know I could put out what I like, but there's more to it than that,
Well,
and
to know.
And not only that, you being there already, I mean, I can't go in there and go, I'm going to start selling records too. I see him making hell of it. I want to jump in there and do that. Or he's selling pictures of this. I'm going to start doing that. No, I don't. those things I respect because that's what you're doing. That's your thing, man. And anything I could do to help you and push you, I'll do that. And I'll do that for anybody else. I mean, that's just the way it is. Some people think, oh no, you're in there trying to take over. Nah. In reality, it's there is money there for everybody, but I think everybody can create something different and get that money for that different thing that you're doing, or just move around a little different. We all love the same stuff for sure, but there is definitely money for everybody, and I think, even watching other magazines come up, watching other promoters come up, I mean, I don't mind it. I like to help out if I could. But it's when you step on my toes and you're talking gibberish about what I do, and in reality, sometimes you're not really a promoter. You're just there to stir up pots, or you're not really a publisher. You're there to stir up pots, or poison our people with your so-called influence. Same with just radio stations, right? DJs go through probably the same thing. Oh, I'm better than him. I play better music than him. But they're all here. We're all here to entertain each other, And I think you have a different flavor. Somebody else has a different flavor, but it depends on how you do your work, and But again, I think we're all in it for the same thing, and we're all here for a little while. We're on borrowed time, and people don't understand that. When we're young, we have all the time in the world. That's why sometimes we just sleep it off and party, and I'm just gonna chill. I don't care. As we get older,
we think we have it all,
right?
All the time.
As you get older, that runway gets a lot shorter.
Right. So as we get older, and we're on borrowed time. So, what do you want to do? You want to enjoy yourself. I know I do. And the less stress I have in my life, the better it is.
Thank you. I'm staying home in San Antonio from now on.
Right. There you go. No, but you
want to come see me? Come to San Antonio.
No, but you can't be selfish neither, because you've put yourself out there to be the person that you are.
I know.
So it's good that what you do. I mean, there's gonna be a time where you're like, I can't do this anymore.
I know. I try to do it as much as I can, but then I look at Brenton Wood and go, God.
Yeah, he's 80.
You're setting that bar so high, Brett. I'm supposed to do it till I'm 83.
But,
what the hell?
But he had to do it though, because he wasn't getting.
I know.
He wasn't
getting his due.
And now he's getting his due, which he's somebody I want to interview too. I know I can't get him over here, but I'm gonna have to go over there and sit down with him and talk to him, because he's been. I was booking him when he was way back in the days when I first started Streetlow as well.
You could do him on a Zoom.
Yeah, and I want to be there. I see a lot of people doing Zooms and stuff, but
he's ready for a road trip, right?
Yeah. I'll take him with me.
Yeah, we go there.
Yeah, he'll go.
You guys just go there with your nice equipment and stuff.
Yeah, just sit there and talk to him. Yeah, because I've seen people do Zooms, but to me, it's
you ought to do that sooner than later. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. Get on it and do it. Because
next week, like I said, I really want to do it. No, I do. Now that I got the car show over with, because it was a cloud over my head.
And while he's still around and healthy enough to talk and remember and
talk to him about everything.
That guy's got just a plethora of knowledge in his head from all those decades and decades and decades. And especially if he could talk about, what he did in the beginning.
Right. Well, I talked to him.
He created all that music.
Well, it was all heartbreak music. He went through a lot of it. He said when I first talked to him, he goes, there was things that I was going through, and I was writing it, and didn't understand till later that everybody else was going through it, and then there were hits. But I know when I talked to him a couple of times, even when, like, you're doing all these shows, and he's like, yeah, because I don't have the rights to my music. Art LeBeau had it. Art LeBeau owned everybody's music. That was one smart man to own all that music, and but somehow, thank God he was able to get his at least a piece of something.
Yeah,
and he got it back, because he's owed from many years back. Yeah. And what they're giving him right now is just, I think they should give it to him all at one time. They don't want to give it to him all at one time. They're trying to piece him out, and no, they should just give it to him and
let him do with it what he will.
Let him build a rocket ship and get out of here.
Yes.
Right on.
Go to Germany and get a blood transfusion like the Rolling Stones.
I heard something different. A butt plant. What?
No, not a butt
How
plant.
is that?
Blood. You know, the Rolling Stones go and get their blood taken out of them every year.
A blunt plant. You know, a real story. A real story. This is a true story. So we did a car show in Costa Mesa that had Brentwood. And one of our performers there, his name was Mike Quinn. Mike Quinn's going to probably know this, and he's going to remember this. We had a gazebo at Costa Mesa Fairgrounds, and we had the stage and everything, and we're going to put him up to perform. Well, you know, Brentwood smokes weed. You know, he likes to smoke weed. I mean, a lot of people like to smoke weed.
Yeah.
Well, he rolled up a blunt and gave him a blunt to smoke, and he couldn't even walk. But this was after the performance. After he performed, we got him back down. Because, you know, there's been times that he's stoned, he goes up on stage, he starts trampling, falling. People are like, oh, he's too old, he can't do it. No, he's good. He's just stoned. People don't understand that.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. And so it was funny as hell. He goes, you Mexicans, oh my God, what is this? It's regular weed. It's a blunt. He goes, I've never had this. And this was probably like, I want to say in 2006, 2007, he smoked for the first time. That's what he told me. I'm not too sure. I'm going to talk to him about it. But it was 2007. He smoked a blunt with Mike Quinn, and Mike Quinn started laughing. He's like, dude, he got like stunned, like it hit him.
Yeah.
You know, what is this? You know, it's just.
It overwhelmed him.
Overwhelmed him, yeah. But the good thing is that he has the Thin Line. You guys ever met Thin Line? Ever met the one that's managing him?
No.
So Thin Line was one of the guys that took over his like booking and getting him good money and getting him into places where he, you know, was appreciated. You know, still getting that low money.
Yeah.
So he kept bringing him around, and it was funny. He was like, I go, so he's not smoking. I go, oh no, we're keeping him on check. We got a nice rolled one right after he gets off stage. But yeah, we're making sure he doesn't smoke before he goes on stage because he'll start falling on the chords and all kinds of stuff, and we don't need him to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's that man's definitely a legend.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I wish I would have met like Mary Wells and you know, James Brown, but you know, I was too young. If they were still been alive now, I'd probably try to do something to get them. But
yeah,
it was too late now for that. But now that he's still around, I mean, it's gonna, you know.
Well, I can't wait to see that when you interview him.
Yeah, right.
I want to hear those stories.
Right. Even I'm gonna try to interview also Jim from the Midnighters. Jimmy from the Midnighters. I've talked to him a lot, and he's told me a lot of good stories.
And the stories about the recordings of those songs, I think, would be interesting too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
To hear how they came about, how those recordings, and who influenced those recordings, and all of those details back in the day.
Let the world know, and the youngsters too, because they listen to his music a lot. So very interesting.
They listen to everything. They can walk around with it in their pocket.
Right.
They have access to everything.
Well, you know, phones aren't phones anymore, right?
No,
it's a computer.
Yes, it's my life.
What happened to your life?
When I lost
happened to your life a little. Did you get it back?
I go to bed at night. I don't know what to do. I'm laying there. Okay.
You still haven't found it?
Well, I have to go. I have to go to look after if we ever get done with this conversation. This is the longest podcast I've ever done in my life.
I'm just going to say.
Oh my God! I even went to the bathroom and came back, and we're still gabbing.
This is not a podcast. This is a conversation.
Louise.
This is
it's a marathon.
Is this shown in the 6-part series?
Marathon?
We're making a Netflix podcast right now.
I think
what the hell? This guy's going to be asleep in another 10 minutes.
Oh my God!
I do.
Like I told.
Does this come with lunch?
I had a 3-hour talk with
JJ.
With JJ, and it was funny. He kept talking, and it was like, man, we're falling asleep. I go, what? I was sleeping with my eyes open. You didn't see me snoring.
Good thing you had your lenses on, your sunglasses.
No. I was like,
so
I was sleeping with my eyes open.
My show is 3 hours, and if I did a 3-hour radio show, I'd be shot.
Right on.
But you get just rolling, and it's like
right. Well, there's a lot to talk about. You can't. It's hard to put everything together in 1 hour.
You can cut it. You can cut it up any way you want.
Right. But sometimes you can't cut out the best of it. I mean, I think we released it was an hour and a half, 2 hours.
How long can it be before people just can't watch the whole
people thing? You know, it's a trip. I've been talking to people, and they're sitting there because I'm working. I'm hearing it, and it's like I'm in. it's like they're in the conversation with us and they're hearing everything you're talking, and they're like, okay. And it's kind of cool because even before we're gone, there's a hope this continues and goes on, and it's into the universe, and people will listen and understand where a lot of this came from, where a lot of this started from, and the influence of it. Okay. Because again, you guys have been a foundation to what the future generation is, and they don't know that. They see the new stuff. They think lowriders came out of rap videos. Well, they didn't. They came out of our hoods, the art videos. That's where they came from. The movies, the music, the party scenes in the beginning. I'm just gonna start from nothing and we'll see where it comes. But it wasn't. It's just we didn't know. As we were growing older and when we're starting something, I didn't know Streetlow was gonna be 26 years later, a magazine and doing. It was embarrassing to me in the beginning. I was like shy, kind of like, oh, they're gonna make fun of me, and they did. Some did, but I mean, it comes with how you're building yourself. Pretty sure like you growing older or when you were younger, and other guys were like, "Yeah, you can be no actor. What's wrong with you?" Right?
Yeah.
Because that's how it is, especially in Latino families. He thinks he's all bad. Whatever.
Yeah.
And now you get that even from other people, right? So not only we get that or bullying from our own family, we get it from other people, but we got to continue to push and push. And like I said, you guys have been a foundation to, from the movies of the making of lowriders at the time and music, because it comes hand in hand. No matter what, it's always been hand in hand. And it's a culture of music, culture of rides, culture of dressing. You got the hats, Danny De La Paz hats. Right,
yeah, they've been
with
thank
the
God
Summit,
they've been very successful.
With Summit,
Well, now that I know the length of it, then I will, I'll make plans to wash the car, get tattooed, and take a bath, and it'll still be playing when I am finished with all of that.
There you go. That's exactly what's going to happen. They might be taking a shower while they're listening to you right now.
I'm just listening to
or the bathroom.
Still going on. I'm going to bed now.
And then when you wake up the next morning, it'll still be on.
I'll hear Gilbert laughing.
Right on.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon.
Right on, man. Well, thank you guys for coming, man.
Thank you,
I
Gilbert.
appreciate you guys,
pleasure.
man. Thank you guys. We're gonna have more conversations in the future. So when you come down, we'll have a good talk and see what else new you guys are doing.
Come up with that bus tour, Boulevard Nights.
Yes.
All the houses. We'll go down and we'll buy you lunch.
We'll buy you
Thank
lunch.
you. I love it when they feed me.
But schedule your tour down there and do interviews with all those people.
I do. I need to go to Los Angeles and interview a couple of the cats. I've already talked to them.
You really should.
Right. Well, there's in radio out there. There's Angel Baby. Angel Baby has been that guy. He used to do my stage out when I used to do my shows out there.
How about the Teen Angel Sons?
I've never met them.
Okay, but there'd be someone that you could interview.
They live out in Rialto.
About their dad and about that whole history with Teen Angel.
Right. Because I've never met those guys.
They used to come out here all the time.
They used to push their dad's stuff.
They used to bring their magazines to me to sell them when I had the store. They used to come wearing their Dickies, brown.
You guys have their contact?
I lost contact with them.
Well, if anybody knows their contact, hit us up.
if you guys are
they're
listening.
always on social media.
Yeah,
the original guys.
Sure, if they got a message, a DM from you, they'd respond.
Yeah, call out all those people that have that story to tell.
Right,
get a hold of you.
No, definitely, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put the real solid, foundations of lowriding culture in on YouTube, just so everybody can actually understand and see.
Are you going to talk to Bad Vic too about his experience with?
Yeah. As they go, the first thing I want to do is start with the beginning of who we are, and then I'm going to get to where they're at and the music of today and what's going on with today. But my main thing is the foundations of what's going on, because it's a lot of people don't know. I know because I did my search and my I've been running around and meeting and finding, from homies, David, when I first started the magazine, I put him in one of our magazines. I was trying to get him to do cartoons for us again. And I just went after anybody and everybody just to bring everybody back up. But there's a lot of history out there that a lot of people don't know. There's the newcomers that are out, which is social media. people that are out there doing their thing. And, you know, I'm not mad at them. You know, they have to continue to do their thing, but I want to make sure that they understand where the foundation of all this is. You know,
I see what your emphasis is.
And you were part of it, and Jim's been part of it, and you know, you guys have been around for.
Get all of us that have been carbon dated first, and then you can move on.
Right, there you go. Right, no, but that's, like I'm saying, like
carbon dating is very important.
Right, they have to give you guys props, man. I think he's falling asleep.
Chicanosaurus.
Don't get him going.
Chicanosaurus.
Chicanosaurus. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for showing up, man. And like I said, you know, we got the future in our hands, right? We got the future to look forward to, but
hand it off and get the stories from the sources first.
Yeah.
I see a lot of stories out there telling the story.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Don't be like running through the village.
Don't think that's the truth.
Telling the story until you know the facts.
Where it's coming from. Where is it coming from?
Learn it.
No, that's the reason why I like to bring the people in. And that's what I'm trying to get.
They'll tell you the real deal.
Right. Yeah. So you know, that's why when I first started, I had to start the beginning of Streetlow because people have other ideas and think, oh, you know, we're the ones that started.
They heard this. They heard that.
We did this. If it wasn't from us, they wouldn't have started this. No, man. We
set the record straight.
That's right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys. You have
it's been a pleasure.
Good talking.
What's for lunch?
Shoot, I have to go pick up.
You're not going anywhere. You're taking me out to eat.
I'll be back. All right. Thank you guys. I've had this since I was a kid. This guy's probably 55 years old at the time. Yeah. And we're in our 20s. And he goes, I'm going to give you this board. He goes, I stole it. I broke the glass with my fist. I was with a bunch of girls. And they was like, oh, can I have it? He's like, hell no, you're not going to have it. He goes, shit, come on, I'll make it. I don't know. I'm keeping this. And he kept it. Yeah, he broke it off a glass and he kept it. He goes, that's why it's torn on the bottom.
Well, they used to be very common on eBay, but not anymore.
That's
gone.
But this is an original one. If the other ones, they might have been copies.
No, they have copies now, but originally they had a lot of originals, but now they're all gone.
This is an original one right here.